Welcome to the Geek-Centric Podcast, and today, from the stories coming to our screens to the worlds being built inside the parks, Disney unveiled its vision for the future at D23. We're breaking down the biggest reveals, the surprises, and everything else that happened at D23 this week in Geek.
We are Geek-Centric, and you can be too. Love ya. Laters. Bye. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Hello, I'm J-Law, but you can call me Justin. And if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geek-Centric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, gaming, and all things geek-centric and all things D23. We're breaking down the biggest news from Disney's massive fan event. And of course, there's far too much for me to tackle alone. So I am joined by two fellow Mouseketeers who have their ears on, well, at least one of them does, and is ready to talk all things Disney. Nate Shelton, Darcy Hudson. How you boys doing?
Good.
Sorry. Hey.
You had a mouse stuck in your throat there.
I think so. I don't know what. Maybe I caught something while we were at D23. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because you were
last
there.
time.
Yeah.
Last time, and it just surfaced now.
Yes.
Out of sheer FOMO. That's I think what's going on.
Yeah. So you got the FOMO flu, right?
FOMO flu.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
It,
It's coming through your nose, at your eyeballs. You know, it's a lot of congestion.
out
in all the
my
wrong
two
places.
pairs of ears, dude.
Yeah, there you go. It's just
That's it.
yeah. Do not use Q-tips to clean that up. Well, listen. As much as I'd love to continue this banter, we do have a lot to get through today. So
I think we could honestly. Let's just talk for another 40 minutes before we start getting into it.
I feel like you could do that very, very, very passionately, which I have no problem with. But today we do have a lot. Now we're going to break this massive D23 weekend into sort of two parts. First, we'll cover Friday night's entertainment showcase and the biggest announcement from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, television, and streaming. Then we'll head into Saturday's Disney Experience presentation for everything coming to the parks, resorts, and even the cruise lines. We'll highlight the reveals that got us excited, the ones that left us with questions, and the projects that we think that are going to define Disney over the next few years. I'm going to get right into Friday night's showcase. Let's begin with that. Friday night's Disney Entertainment Showcase, hosted by Zootopia 2 stars Jennifer Goodwin and Gi-Hye Kwan. The presentation offered a massive preview of Disney's upcoming film, television, streaming, and gaming slate. There were major franchise returns, several unexpected casting announcements, some promising original ideas, and enough sequels to keep us busy well into 2029. So we're going to move through basically studio by studio. And I should also preface, we're going to be talking about things where we did get trailers, actual trailers that are released to the public. We are going to mention some stuff that we have seen that's on social. So that probably wasn't meant to be on social because Disney hasn't officially released it. We're not going to linger too long on those things. We're going to spend more time talking about the actual things that we were given and we were able to see. And all the material that I'm about to run through is provided by our friends at Disney Studios Canada. So they were kind enough to send over press release material because, as Nate mentioned before, we did not attend, and that's fine. We're still going to do our thing. We're going to talk about all the goodies that came up. But yeah, the evening opened with a large dance number featuring Dancing with the Star professionals, but then Bart Simpson hit the stage with Dana Walden to introduce footage for the next theatrical Simpsons movie scheduled for September 3rd, 2027. Disney did not provide a title or plot. But this was our first bit of news about a movie. How do we feel about a second Simpsons movie?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm so excited. I think that movie was one of the first times that I can remember of being like, wow, okay, we're going to the theaters for The Simpsons, and it felt special. It felt different, and I think it was a great representation of how you can adapt from TV to movies. So yeah, I'm really excited. We did get to see, or on the internet rather, was an animatic a hand-drawn animatic. The film is hand-drawn. I mean, The Simpsons is hand-drawn, but the idea of this clip of Homer trying to catch this baseball, fumbling it all through Springfield, just felt so classic Simpsons to me. And I think that's what really got me excited about this idea of like, they're yes, I love what Disney has done with The Simpsons, but there feels like there is a little something missing, and it feels like they're bringing that back in the best ways possible just from the little clip that we saw. So I really, really, really dug that little animatic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see the animatic, but just knowing that Simpsons coming back to theaters is always fun. It makes me excited. I mean, I enjoyed the Bob's Burgers movie that came out a few years ago. That one really had me hyped for another show that made the jump to the big screen, and it worked for me. And again, it's embracing all the things that make Simpsons fun, but then it being able to take it a bit longer. Like this scene or this animatic sounded like it went on for a while, and again, all over Springfield. So it sounds like where these jokes are going to be drawn out a bit more and scaled up for the big screen, which worked in the first movie. So I'm glad to see, or excited to see how it works for the second time around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're both right. Like, I think the first movie, what it really did well is it captured the family adventure side of it while also encapsulating the Springfield side of it. And this animatic definitely leaned into that sort of Springfield-sized adventure, if you will. Like, there's just these little nuances to it. I guess it's just like, can it capture the same magic as to what you were talking about before, right? Because like going to the movie theaters after so many years of watching Simpsons on television, that was a sort of big case situation, right? So, what sort of story, what sort of thing is going to drive, what is going to drive people to want to see this movie in theaters this time around, right?
I think if this movie had been announced and come out within 3 years of that original Simpsons movie, I don't think it could have captured it. I think with the time removed since then, though, I really think it has the opportunity to do that and to kind of try to capture that lightning in a bottle again. And also just, kudos to us getting our first animatic of this, first really hearing about it, slightly earlier than D23. And it's coming out September 3rd, 2027. Like, that's dope. The fact that it's like, we're hearing about it, we get to see an animatic, and then a year later, we get to watch the movie. Like, that can't be said about everything we're talking about tonight. And so that's kudos to the creatives on that side.
Well, for sure. We didn't see an animatic. They saw an animatic, and someone was kind enough
to film it for us and put it illegally on the internet. Yes, exactly. Yes. And so thank
so
you
for the
well.
audience, though, they did show up with a lot of stuff, right? So yeah, it is good to see. Okay, we're going to move into Disney's own slate, which combined franchise follow-ups, another live-action retelling, and an unusual streaming revival built around one of Walt Disney's earliest characters. We're going to talk about Lilo and Stitch first. The live-action sequel begins production in Hawaii later this year, with Chris Sanders, the co-creator and longtime voice of Stitch, directing. The cast is returning, and big reveal, Angel joins Stitch on screen. So we did get the little poster, if I'm not mistaken, that revealed that, which is pretty wild. I think we all suspected that this was coming. The film does open May 26th, 2028. So how did we feel? Does Angel's arrival suggest Disney is going to try to build a larger universe out of this all?
Well, I mean, they've always loved Stitch in the parks as like a mascot and stuff like that. He's on everything as almost as much, if not more, than some of the Fab Five. So it makes sense that now that Mickey has left their domain, maybe they want to secure another IP or mascot that they can fully control and give him a partner. That is Angel. So it totally makes sense. Honestly, though, all I want is live action Leroy, because he is the experiment that I love the most. So
you kind of remind me of Leroy, Darcy. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Okay, I don't know if I appreciate
it's complimentary. It's meant complimentary.
Okay, all the good parts of Leroy.
Yes, all the charming, lovely, cute parts. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh wow. Okay, calm down there. Jeez.
But no, I think this is really exciting. I think there's a huge range of fans who grew up with the animated series, right? And Angel was introduced in that original animated series. And I don't think Angel has ever really left the Stitch zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like you said, Darcy, like we see Stitch at the parks all the time. And we really do see Angel a lot, mostly represented in the plushies, but she's been there as well in other ways. And I think this is going to be great. I think it's going to be really interesting to see if they try to adapt a storyline from that original series, how they adapt her introduction. I do wonder, though, are they going to go with something completely new? And I'm also curious if like, why Chris Sanders? Like, don't get me wrong, I think Chris Sanders is going to do an excellent job. He's the creator or co-creator of Stitch, but I'm a huge fan of Dean Fleischer Camp, and I just don't know why they would have chosen to not have him direct this sequel after doing such a good job with the first one.
What if he didn't want to, though? Like, what if he
I
didn't
guess
want to? I think that's also a factor too, right? Like, he might not have wanted to. I feel like they probably did approach him and say, hey, we would love to do a sequel. And he's just like, you know what? I'd rather do something else at this point. So, and they're like, well, our timeline needs to be sooner rather than later. So we're going to push forward with getting that out sooner. Cause he probably might've asked, can I go make something else and then come back? And he was like, they're like, no, we would rather that happen sooner. So they just decided to move forward. I could see that being a possibility.
Yeah.
Cause I think that, you know, he brought a sense of a groundedness to the Lilo and Stitch movie that I think was genuinely unexpected for most, you know what I mean? But I think that's what people appreciated, was this level of authenticity, but also the way it adapted things to make it make sense for this live action world. I might be just speaking for myself at that point, but you know, I think he did a really great job. But I think, you know, with who's to say if he's not going to be a producer or if he had a hand in writing it, you know.
Sure.
And Chris Sanders is gonna be able to kind of take that and run with it, if you will.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Now the next one I'm super stoked for, and that is the Bluey movie. Yeah, it was one of my predictions, and I'm so happy I was right about that. Yeah, so from the series creator Joe Brum, and he's writing it and directing it. It's a CGI animated feature, which is crazy, because we're talking about a show that is 2D animated with, you know, hybrid computer elements, and like The Simpsons, if you will. But yes, the original cast, Melanie Zanetti and David McCormack, are returning as Chili and Bandit, that like single two best parents that anyone could ever ask for. And it's one eventful day and a major surprise change for the Bluey family, and it opens August 6th, 2027. Let's go. Like less than a year, and this is in theaters. I'm stoked. We did get footage that was released online, which was very cute. It was some keepy uppy action that revealed the look of Bluey and Bingo, and I think they look great. I think a lot of people are a little miffed, especially parents. They're like, well, you know, kids identify with them looking this way, and then this is a change. Like, I've just been
kids have all the toys that are 3D, so they're
exactly
used to 3D
that's
Bluey by this point.
That's what I said. I showed it to my daughter, and she was like, "Can we go see that now?" And I'm like, "Oh, we have to wait a while." So yeah, she was just like, she's like, "Tuesday or Saturday?" I'm like, like next year, okay? Like when you're closer to 5, then we can go see it. And she's
Justin,
like, "Oh."
do you take parental like sort of inspiration from Bandit and Chili?
I definitely learn from them. I think that's one of the relatable qualities of this show, right? It's like, it's what makes it, not to say that I'm like learning from them, but in some ways you get to learn things about, like, in a situation, how do you handle it? And in some instances you see that unfold in an episode of Bluey, right? I think there's also a lot of layers that speak to adults and a lot of layers that speak to kids. And sometimes those conversations are happening together, and sometimes they might just be conversations with the kids, conversations with the parents. So I think it's probably one of the one of the most interesting kids shows out right now. And Disney has had a massive success, bringing it to the streaming platform of Disney Plus, putting the experiences in the parks. But I do wonder, you know, like, there is something that's really interesting about how the show is structured in these sort of short episodes, like 10 minutes. So I wonder how a feature-length film will sustain in sort of keeping elements that work without losing the intimacy and the sort of the sort of simplicity of the stories, right? Because the stories can be very simple in terms of like following, because like now they've even gotten shorter. They have mini episodes, right, which are just like little moments, right? So so it will be interesting to see how taking that sort of form and moving it into a theatrical runtime, I could see this movie being like 80 minutes though, right? So
Yeah. But they're going to go 24-hour style where every 10 minutes is a different hour of the day. And it's just leading up to...
That's kind of cool.
That's not a bad idea. That's pretty cool.
It's funny. We were just talking about the Simpsons movie, and I brought up that feeling I had of being younger and seeing the Simpsons come to theaters and that experience. And the fact that so many kids are now going to have that with Bluey is just so exciting. And this trailer, I haven't done my due diligence to really dig into Bluey as much as I want to, or as much as I said that I would have for you and for Megan. But I will say this trailer, the music really got to me. I felt like a little emotional from the score, and I love the look. Again, this is like we said with The Simpsons. This is now showing you, hey, this is the movie. This is Bluey the movie. This is a big, big, big deal. And I think it just sort of adds to that gravitas. I think hearing these little girls laugh the way they do with their little scream laughs is so cute. Playing Keepy Uppy, seeing that apparently in the audience at D23 they were playing Keepy Uppy in the crowd is awesome. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. August 2027. And I'm predicting, because the description says they apparently everything changes. There's a big surprise change. I think we're getting a baby brother, and I think that's really exciting. So I think that's my prediction for what the big change is, and to see what what are they going to name it? What B name? They're going to name it. So we'll see.
Bob.
Bluey, Bingo, and Bob. Little Bobby would be cute. That could be work.
Yeah.
Could work.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think definitely that description of one eventful day and a major surprise that changes things for the Bluey family implies they're getting a new anything. And I think that's
or it goes the other way and it deals with someone exiting this world.
Oh no! Whoa!
Damn, that went dark, dude.
Hey, they're not afraid to deal with
They are not. There's a couple
good length of time to deal with the 7 stages that you go through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's interesting. That is interesting. Someone could pass. That would be really. I don't think parents would definitely revolt.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Justin, do they have grandparents?
Yeah, they have a granddad and they have a nana,
and they're both still with us.
And a granddad. Yeah, they're all with us.
All right.
Chili's
if it was up to Darcy, he's got the scythe out.
Chili's mom's not with us, but
I'm just saying those are 2 very big changes that I could think of off the bat.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I think, yes, I wouldn't, they have, to your point, they have talked about loss and death and in ways, and I think that parents who are watching it will understand the undertones of what's going on in certain instances. Sometimes it's very direct. They just the way they handle it. The show's really smart, and that's why it's so successful. And to hear that, obviously you can't do this movie without Melanie and David. They are like, their voices are so, David especially, like he's so iconic as Bandit. He's just awesome. Okay, moving on. Ice Age.
We all cry.
Yeah, Ice Age boiling point. The herd heads into a dinosaur and lava-filled lost world. Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, Dennis Leary, Queen Latifah, and Simon Pegg return, joined by Scrat, Baby Scrat, and an enormous prehistoric relative called Jurassic Scrat. It opens in theaters February 5th, 2027, so that's coming soon. I kind of fell off on this franchise, to be completely honest. It is interesting that they are deciding to resurrect it. That's a bit of a Dino Jurassic Park pun for you.
On Earth.
On Earth. Yeah, there you go. On Earth. There you go. That's a better one too. I was surprised though from getting the highlights from this event that Ray Romano was not on stage for this, but they sure as hell brought out Dennis Leary and Queen Latifah. So what are your feelings on Ice Age? Should they have left it on ice, or are you feeling hot about it?
Oh.
I mean, I'm interested in returning to a Disney Ice Age. We'll see what they do with it. Maybe it's the breath of fresh air to get it reinvigorated. I don't know. But I know that, when I was younger, I enjoyed the Ice Age franchise. I know Robbie's watched a few of the movies, my niece, and she loves them too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure the younger generation will go crazy for Ice Age again, just because, again, Scrat alone is enough for me to watch an Ice Age movie. His hunt for those acorns are... You want him to get them. I get it. I understand why
You
he
should
stuck
just
around
do a
for so
movie
long.
about this guy, though. Like, seriously.
I feel like didn't they already do that?
They probably
back in
have.
Yeah,
I feel like that was one of the ones I
Back when
missed.
when he had a baby. Apparently he had a baby, or a baby joined them, a baby Scrat. It's like, baby everything. Baby Groot, baby Yoda, baby Scrat.
I'm sure he has a lot of babies.
He's
I'm
got
sure
a
that
lot of
thing
babies out there.
reproduces like mad. Okay?
Get the receipts for Scrat's
Yeah,
babies.
exactly. Got different baby mamas everywhere.
Dude, Jurassic Scrat sounds like a lot of fun, though. So it's going to be interesting to see how that trio works out in with the classic characters. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where like I don't even really know Buck, and I love Simon Pegg, but like I got to get back into it. So maybe we do a big Ice Age rewatch before this one comes out next year. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we're going to move into another live action property. We're going to talk about live action Tangled. Tegan Croft plays Rapunzel. Milo Manheim is Flynn Rider, and Catherine Hahn, the Catherine Hahn, Nate hugged Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn is Mother Gothel. Diego Luna joins as a new character named Hawthorne, who I'm very interested to hear about. The film is shooting in Spain under director Michael Gracie and opens in theaters March 31st, 2028. Now, again, this was another instance where we were just we were on social. We saw some stuff that was revealed to the audience there. We got our first look at Tegan Croft as Rapunzel. We got a look at Milo as Flynn Rider. The two sent a video message to D23 while they were shooting in Spain. Just seeing that little featurette, which I wish they would have showed online, but you can see from where they're shooting, it is so perfect for the world of Tangled and
beautiful.
Rapunzel. I'm trying to remember where the castle is called or what the palace is called, but there was one moment where they were just doing a pan, and I'm like, oh, that's the scene where Flynn gets catapulted up into the air and out of the palace guards onto Max. So I'm excited to see this. It looks really good, and we did get a little quick glimpse at Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel. I'm excited for this one. She's one of my favorites up there with Moana. How about you guys? How are you feeling about live action Tangled?
Yeah, Tangled is probably my favorite of the 3D Disney princesses by far. It's one of my favorite movies. It's so good. The music too from it has just always gotten me so excited. And when going to parks like we always do, if you hear the songs come up, they're always the ones that I get excited for during the nighttime events and stuff like that. But yeah, hearing that it's again, they're filming on location in Spain, it's perfect for, I looked it up, it's Corona is the island nation from Tangled, which makes sense. Again, it has that very Mediterranean look to it already. So the Spanish coast makes sense for where they're shooting there, and it brings life to this kingdom already. I will say I need to see a bit more from our two leads to be really sold that they are Flynn and Rapunzel so far, because seeing them out of character, I'm not buying it just yet. So I will hold my thoughts till we see some more from them. But I am excited for this one too, because this is
They
one
look
that's
like
needed
them,
for a while.
though.
They do.
They fit the part.
Again,
but we
but
need to see how they
so far,
perform.
I'm not feeling that chemistry. Again,
Sure.
that Flynn, that charm and charisma wasn't coming through Milo, at least at this point.
I mean, with the right costumes and wigs, Darcy and I could look like them. You know what I mean? So it's but no, I think, say what you will about Disney live action remakes, but I think, honestly, 15 years or so is the correct amount of time between the original and the live action version.
Well, also, just to say here, there's no sequels. They haven't done anything with this franchise.
They had
Since
a very
had a
wicked
miniseries.
animated series.
Yeah,
I
which is
watched that
great.
with my niece as well. They're
Yeah,
pretty good.
I've watched it as well.
And they attended they attended a coronation. They did
Yes.
attend a coronation. But no, I agree with you. I think that's the best. That's also a great element to this. And I think, in that leaked little thing, we're getting to see her hair going up the stairs, and then we see her turn around. And specifically, Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel. She can sing. We've seen her sing in Agatha all along, and in various other roles. And we know she can play a villainous witch, and her hair Darcy, listen, not too many people have you beat when it comes to hair, but she's got you beat.
I'm pretty sure that's a weave.
She
though.
looks.
Like,
I don't care. It looks awesome. I don't know if it is. Who knows? Maybe she wore so many wigs excellently in the studio. So to see her in this, I'm actually really excited about this. And honestly, I didn't read that description before you did, Justin. Sorry, you mentioned Diego Luna playing Hawthorne. That's exciting to me because, again, we talk about these adaptations all the time. Give us something new, and it looks like they're going to do that with Diego Luna, which is awesome. I love Diego Luna.
My theory is that he's either one of the generals, like the general of the palace, or deep cut, he's Max. He's an adaptation of Max.
Instead of a horse, it's...
Yeah.
Well, no, I'd be very upset if there's no Maximus in this. He is one of the best. He's one of the greatest.
He's one of the best horses
in all of animation.
I love him so much. That whole sequence with him and Flynn when they're like chasing the crowd. And like,
when you see a horse sword fighting, it's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What is happening right now? I love what he was.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to exactly do that. So I kind of like that idea.
But I don't know if they're going to exactly do like a horse fighting a human. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's going to be liberties where we're just going to get a horse that is like, he's sarcastic and stuff, but he's not like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to like pick up a sword and fight or, you know, pull on a boot or like chase and then they're going to fall. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. Maybe what they do is they replace that character with a Diego Luna, like a Hawthorne who's chasing him, that's trying to find him. I'm not saying he's Max per se, but he's filling in that Max role who's chasing down Flynn.
I was going to say, he's a pursuant from some side, either from the bar of thieves or from the castle. That's my thought, basically. Yeah.
Cool. I think that makes a lot of sense. And to the point of what you were saying, Nate, it's enough different to give something new to this story that isn't just another retelling, right? Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about Oswald. Jon Favreau created this Disney Plus live action animated hybrid about an earthquake releasing Oswald, the lucky rabbit, after he has been hidden since the 1920s. A group of middle school friends helps the forgotten cartoon character navigate the modern world. It premieres February 17th, 2027. This looks dope. Like, again, this was another one that wasn't shared with us. We saw some clips online from what we saw from the angles of the screens and stuff. This looks great. I am very excited to see what this is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I find it funny that they're saying long forgotten. I feel like he was brought very back into the zeitgeist after Epic Mickey and then has stayed in the parks as a constant icon since then. So it's weird phrasing for that, but I am all for it. Oswald is one of my favorite characters since discovering him on Epic Mickey and doing a deep dive since then. Like, he is so cool and finally getting the time to shine at this point is really neat. The way they're doing it is incredible. We're doing a hand animated character in a live action world. It's just a marriage of everything that Disney does well, basically. And I can't wait to see how this story unfolds.
Yeah, just on a quick note on that real quick, though, the fact that he was saying, like, many people don't know who Oswald is, and he's at a Disney D23 event, it's like...
Everyone in that room knew who Oswald was.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
the only thing I'm thinking is maybe in the universe of the series that we're watching, the world.
Maybe, yes. Okay, maybe.
Okay, fine.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of, because of course, why else would it be so exciting for us to get an Oswald series? Seeing him sneak around Walt's office, his actual office, is so cool. The fact that they filmed there and had him, just obviously someone with a camera moving it around, and then they animated on top of that is so cool. I think it speaks, all the way back to something like Mary Poppins, and it's just so well done. I like the look of the animation. It does look like a really nice blend. And it kind of has that sort of like framey, Spider-Verse-y kind of staccato look to it.
Yeah, where his frame rate is at a different speed than the frame rate of what is happening around him.
Yeah.
Right? So you can
cool.
definitely tell that he is of a different life, if you will.
And as a big fan of, I think we all really enjoyed Skeleton Crew. I'm excited to see Ravi Cabot Conyers in this as well as Catherine Hahn. But yeah, no, I think the idea that John mentioned there, bringing back classic Disney animators like to do the animation on this show, is, again, it's all the right ingredients for exactly what it needs to be. I think, Darcy, were you saying how many episodes you said that they were planning or looking at?
they said it was a 3-episode miniseries. So
Right.
It's a bit short, but I'm happy to get anything.
But who
And
knows
I'm
how
hoping
long
this is
those
just
episodes
testing
are.
the water. Yeah, and I'm hoping this
Yeah.
is just testing the waters for the hand animation again, because I'd love to see another fully hand animated movie from Disney at some point.
Yeah, that would be great. And like, I like this idea of, you know, mixing live action with animation. Like to do that properly, it's just a lot of setup, right? Like a lot of setup in like tracking shots, and you know, if you go handheld, how do you plan that, and then also have the element that is animated still fit into that. We saw a bit of that in something we will talk about later in another review. But you know, this idea of telling the story of Oswald being rediscovered, I think is really, really smart. I love that this is a passion project of his as well. I always feel like when a filmmaker or storyteller is like genuinely invested in what they want to do, it produces a better piece of work. So I'm excited to see what this is and how it shakes out, because like, yeah, what we at least were able to sneakily see based on thanks to all the people who filmed stuff, because you know we felt like we were there, but yeah, it was cool to see it, and it looks really, really great. We're gonna move into Pixar animation. Pixar divided its presentation almost perfectly between dependable sequels and original supernatural stories rooted in very distinctive locations. So let's talk about Incredibles 3 first. So Peter Sohn takes over as director, while Brad Bird remains involved as production with Dana Murray. The Parr Family returns to theaters June 16th, 2028. That's about as much as I got from what we were given. There were some details that obviously were shared that were, again, online. Looks like they're facing a villain that is the biggest baddie, you know.
Stronger than the whole family put together, as he put it, which has me intrigued.
They did show, like, there's the image of it of the bad guy floating around. It looks like he's got an armor with like a sort of a visor look to him. Looks very interesting, but it is very ominous and mysterious.
Cyclops.
He kind of does. He kind of looks like actually it was like very Boba Fett-y, you know, like that T.
Okay.
Right? Like, but I think it was more of like a V and then a line, like almost like a Y kind of thing. I don't know.
I like it.
But yeah, it's online. You can find it. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Peter Sohn is obviously he's a great filmmaker. I'm interested to see. I really wanted Brad Bird to come back just because of the relationship he has with these characters. It does give me great trust to know that he's involved in the production. But you know, Peter Sohn taking over, it's a good choice as a director.
I think for a third movie in a franchise, I think it's a good idea to, you know, again, keep those cards close to your chest and have Brad Bird involved. But I'm happy that it's Peter Sohn. Like I think we all really, really enjoyed Elemental quite a bit, and I think this looks, you know, from what the little things they shared, it's like it does seem like it's going to have a bit of a greater focus on the kids. They're not being aged up or anything like that. So Jack is still going to be super chaotic, but I'm excited to see kind of the different take and the sort of the different spin that we get with the Parr family this time around.
I mean, I just gotta say, it's been a crazy year for this family with the events that's happened in that first movie to now. Like, if it's all within the same time frame because they haven't grown up or anything.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a neat idea, because Pixar always seems to be the one company where they aren't afraid of aging up their characters. That is evident with your Inside Out, your Toy Story, and what we'll be talking about next, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. We will be talking about that next. But yeah, I do think it's interesting if they do keep it within like this sort of like window of time for this family to kind of become heroes. You know what I mean? Like we've seen each iteration or each story in that growth. So it's pretty cool that we're getting a third one that will kind of continue that, I guess. But yeah, let's talk about Coco 2. Concept art was shown of Miguel as a teenager, like you were saying, aged up, while Benjamin Bratt confirmed Ernesto de la Cruz will return and provoke another life-changing journey to the land of the dead. Lee Unkrich and Adrian Molina return for the November 2029 release. Okay, so we're looking a little further out here, that concept art looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like it looks so good. I'm like
fade.
yeah, so sweet. And he's like wearing like he's wearing the Canadian tuxedo with like the red plaid underneath. I'm like, did he go to Canada? Was he out in Canada?
This is part of the story. He went to Canada. He checked out the local fashion. But I think it's great. Like, he looks like that awkward stage between kid and teenager. You know what I mean? Like that sort of like middle stage where you want to look cool, but you're also like still really cute. Dude, the moment they showed Mama Coco in her skeleton form, I was like, I'm going to cry my eyeballs out all over again in 2029. Like, it's unbelievable. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I think Coco is officially tied with the opening moments of Up for the easiest way to make me sob. And so I think Pixar has outside of Cars, a really great track record with their sequels. So I'm excited to see, and the fact that Ernesto is coming back is interesting. I don't know.
I'm very intrigued to see how that comes about and how that impacts the real world. Because again, he's dead. Who's going to know what he's doing in the land of the dead unless there's someone else crossing that veil?
I heard they're going to hell, bro.
Or if someone else is crossing that veil or something like that. And maybe Miguel's not the only one who's going on this journey, which I think could be cool.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Also, with Coco, Kingdom Hearts 4 was a topic of discussion. Square Enix confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 4 will contain a world inspired by Coco. The game currently carries a late 2027 release window. I've never played these games. Have you either of you enjoyed or dabbled in the Kingdom Hearts series?
Yes, very much so. I've played them all. As confusing and convoluted as a story can be in those games, it's Disney with JRPG storytelling dramatics, which is just very confusing. Still very enjoyable games, and I am absolutely stoked for this one. I mean, the worlds of the game are what make it so fun. Again, getting to step into the worlds of your movies, reimagined through the game, and being a part of these classic stories. The way that it looks like going to be interacting with the Coco world, with the like surfing behind the Alebrije or whatever on your Keyblade, like it looks like it's going to be a very vibrant and bright world, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into it.
Yeah, I think the fact that we're getting to see Coco, you know, I know in Kingdom Hearts 3 they went to like Frozen Land or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, of course we're going to keep up with the modern Disney stories and that they're pulling from that. Sora, you know, looks dope in skeleton form. I only played 2 of the Kingdom Hearts games out of the 900 million on DS and 3DS and mobile, and you know the 2.52 HD 8 versions. I don't,
Dream Drop remix.
Good lord. So I am, you know, I find that series to be just as convoluted as Darcy is describing. But this looks great. Like I'm hoping maybe this could be a fun way for people to maybe get back into Kingdom Hearts if they have fallen off. And the fact that I think they said something about it like involving Coco and Coco 2, or am I getting my wires crossed there? That like maybe there would be some elements of Coco 2 involved as well.
I feel like you might be getting your wires crossed because I don't know why they'd release that in a game.
Maybe I'm thinking of a future Coco announcement that we're going to talk about. Okay, never mind.
You're thinking about a future Kingdom Hearts announcement that we're going to talk about. But I think that they were very specific about just translating Land of the Dead specifically as an environment in this game.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make sense to bring up Coco 2 just because it's 2029. So why, if it's coming
too far
out in 2027? Yeah, it's too far out.
Fair.
Maybe in 2029 they'll have something for it. Okay, we got our first look at an original movie from Pixar, which is so funny. It looks awesome. It's called Ghost Market. The original Pixar film centers on a hidden plate lunch shop on Oahu's North Shore that serves spirits caught between life and death. A fast-talking child named Kyle becomes the first living person to enter. This is going to be directed by, I've never heard of these directors, but this is part of what I love about Pixar is that they're giving the opportunity to new filmmakers. But we have, this film is going to be directed by Trevor Jimenez and Jesse Andrews, and will release March 2028. This was a little snippet trailer that was released online, actually on Instagram specifically because of the way it was framed for the vertical frame of like a phone, because he's a content creator, I believe is what they were talking about. And it looks awesome. Like, it looks so good. And like just his mannerisms and the gestures as he was talking, it's absolutely hilarious. I loved it. I'm very excited. I'm excited for more original stories from Pixar. And I think this is going to be a banger.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the directors or our little press reference here, it says Jesse Andrews is connected to Hoppers, which I loved, and it was another fantastic original story from Pixar. And just the character being so modern and of the era, while also just reminding me so much of Russell from Up. Like,
which is based off of Peter Sohn, by the way. Russell's body is based off of Peter Sohn.
that kind of tracks, and that makes it even better. But I don't know. I'm so excited for, again, an original story with a different spin that is very relevant for the times, and this seems like this is a great way to explore that avenue.
Yeah, I heard that apparently originally this was supposed to be a series called Ono Market, and now it's being turned into a movie, which is interesting because we did get a Pixar series called Win or Lose, which Trevor Jimenez actually directed an episode of, and the look of this, I was trying to place it. Like, my brain was going to Frankenweenie at one point, and now I'm like, no.
His character design looks very Frankenweenie, I give you that, because it doesn't look traditional Pixar. He is definitely designed to look very different, but
it also fits kind of within Win or Lose.
Yes,
I could see Kyle running around with the Win or Lose kids, and I love that he's a little Chicago kid on vacation in Hawaii. Like, it's his own found footage film. Like, again, I think it's interesting because we've seen some of the discourse around making movies and trailers for social media screens and for, that sort of thing. And the fact that it's almost like they're embracing it in a certain way, but in a very creative Pixar way, is awesome. And I think the idea that, we just talked about Coco and the way that we've seen that culture explored and that afterlife in that culture explored, the fact that now we're getting that for, showcasing Asian myths and legends within the world interacting with the dead is really cool. And I know they're going to subvert expectations. Kyle himself in the little trailer of him talking to his phone says it's going to be scary, but it's not going to be like the scariest thing you've ever seen or whatever, as a bowl of ramen chases him down the street. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet the other characters in this movie. And it's just I love their original stuff. Like, I love their sequels, but I guess I just love Pixar, but you know what I'm saying.
I think what happened with the fact that you mentioned that it was supposed to be a series, like, I had heard that they disbanded that whole side of their team after Win and Lose, not because of any other reason other than to just focus on theatrical releases, and really push that. I think a lot of people thought, oh, well, they're cutting jobs, and I think to a certain degree there probably were some cuts that were made, but it is really great that a story like this wasn't just removed. It found a new way of kind of transitioning into more of a theatrical release and something that could be extended. So it looks great. I'm very excited for it, and I'm all for original stories. And if it, like you said, Darcy Hoppers was great, and if that proved anything, it still shows that Pixar has some really great storytellers under that roof that, given the right tools and push, can tell some really fantastic stories. So I'm very excited to see that. Then we got to look at Gatto. Mark Ruffalo voices Nero, a scrappy black cat navigating Venice while in debt to a feline crime boss voiced by Lawrence Fishburne. Such a great casting. The film reunites the filmmakers team behind Luca and opens March 5th, 2027. So this is the next Pixar project to come out. Nate, you were talking about it. It's original, then sequel, then original, then a sequel. So we're kind of flip-flopping. We're going into original. I think the sequel that's after this would be The Incredibles 3. And then after that, it would be Ghost Market. Wait.
I think it's breaking it there because I think it said Coco's coming 2029.
Yeah, so it'll be... Yeah, no, so it'll be... oh, yeah, you're right, because March 2028 and then June 2028. So it's kind of shifting around the scale. But it is good. Like, I think... We were talking about this idea of Pixar kind of having a trajectory of where they they will lean into their franchises because they know there's a lot of people that love them, and do a sequel story and do a story for that if there's a story there, obviously. But they are probably looking at all of those and thinking, what can we do? Like, how can we go further with what was successful here, and wanting to tell a story there, but then also investing in original story. I think that's smart, right? Like, I think that's just like anything else.
The sequels, which get just as much love and attention, thankfully, fund those original stories,
movies. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, when I was in California, and they talked about how the sequels actually doing the sequels allows them to build new technology and new pipeline for new original content. So you would think it'd be the other way around, where it's like, oh, we learned something new on this original and we're going to apply it to the sequel. No, it's the sequel that lays the groundwork that then can be applied to a new original story. So that's really great. How did we feel? Like, we didn't see anything new.
No, I mean, I'm just excited for Cat Godfather. Like, it's I'm excited. It sounds cool.
Yeah. A mob story told through the lives of cats in Venice is like such a fun idea that sounds like crazy when you think about it, but then when you actually get to see it, I think Enrico Casarosa, I love Luca. Like, Luca was one of those movies that we got, and I think it was like pandemic times, and the idea of just being on an Italian beach was so lovely. So to get to go to Italy again, I'm sure I'm gonna get the feelings that I'm gonna want to travel to Italy again after watching Gatto. So I'm excited for it. And again, exploring different styles of animation, right? Like, Pixar is continuing to just push out there outside of their just house style. And I can't wait. I'm very, very intrigued to see where this goes.
Yeah, the animation style looks really unique. Like, it looks daringly different, very non-Pixar. And I'm excited for that because I think, again, there's probably a lot of experimentation that's going to happen in this that's going to be kind of like different. And who knows where that can lead for future stories, right? In terms of just finding a new aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 20th Century took the stage with one sole feature title that is basically a streaming sequel to a 1997 cult comedy, which is Romeo and Michelle 2. So we're getting the girls back. Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow reunite along with Alan Cumming and Janine Garofalo. And Keegan-Michael Key is going to be in this as well. And Wendy McClendon-Covey is joining the cast as well. And it's hitting Hulu and Disney Plus in 2027. Were either of you a fan of this? I know I was. Like, I remember watching this.
I've never seen Romeo and Michelle.
I was 5 years old when the first one came out, and I've never seen it.
I'm excited. It does surprise me that they would bring this back of all things. So I wonder if there's some sort of, like, I guess it's been, 30 years, if my math is right, since this, if it's a 1997 cult classic.
Does it have, like, as a cult classic, I guess it has enough of a following to go to Disney Plus, but not theaters? Is that where it kind of sits?
I do think, though, that they should have just put it in theaters, even if it was, like, if it's a low gain for them, like, in the end of the day. But it is cool to see that they're getting the original cast back together for it. So
that's fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Cool.
Okay, we're getting into the big guns now, guys. Marvel Studios. Marvel took to stage, and the first thing they showed off was VisionQuest. And Paul Bettany's rebuilt Vision consults the AI personalities embedded within him, including Friday, Edith, Jarvis, and James Spader's Ultron, before a bounty forces him on the run with the mysterious Thomas Shepard. Marvel calls this the conclusion to WandaVision and Agatha All Along trilogy. It premieres October 14th, 2026. Stoked for this. We did get a trailer that was released to the general public. Let's start by talking about that, because damn, this trailer looks awesome. We were talking about this offline where, James Spader as Ultron does assume a human form in this. And he looks very bearded up, and he has a very, you were saying it like Hank Pym vibe, like
very Pym inspired. It looks like,
yeah, very much so, right? And that beard is massive on him.
That and the glasses too.
Yeah.
Like, it's the beer glasses combo, I think, that goes a long way. But
It's that voice, though, and what he's saying in this that makes me like very concerned for Vision's well-being.
Sure.
Because it seems like he is a AI entity that's inside of him that is wielding him into a place that's going to cause problems.
Well, I mean, I'm just hopeful that there's, again, these other AI are also going to be physically manifesting in this mindscape of Visions, because that's going to be really cool to see just who he has up there. And I know from, I think, some concept art or something that was shown that we didn't get to see or is going around online, it looks like we might be getting the first Human Torch introduced in the show, the Android version of it, which was teased all the way back in Captain America, the first Avenger. So it'd be wild to go full circle all the way back to that and bring it into this story. It's so neat because the Vision is a complex character, but diving into his mind and going through the AI that built him to kind of reshape himself going forward is such a cool concept. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, poor Vision. You know what I mean? The guy's died like twice. You know what I mean? And he's ripped apart at one point and then re-uploaded and all this stuff. And I think Paul Bettany, this is, he's been with us since the beginning, right? Like, he's been with us since Iron Man, and now he's finally getting to lead a story here. I love that. I love that we're getting the meta side of things like we did with WandaVision, but this time we're sitting in a movie theater with like the director's commentary from Vision and Ultron. I think is really, really exciting, and it just reminds me of that moment in Loki when he got to sort of watch back his life. But I'm excited to see those other AI personas, Darcy, that you mentioned, like Edith, Friday, and the original AI Jarvis. Are actually in the show. They're in that trailer for a brief time. And then I was looking it up. There's these two mechanics in the background, and apparently they're Dumb E and Dumb U.
Those are his arms.
Robot
those
arms.
Are his robot arms.
And they're the human personas of those robot arms.
That's crazy.
And they don't talk because they were never given voices. So it's like all of this stuff is so cool. It reminds me so much of WandaVision. I just think it's awesome the way that they're able to bring that vibe and put that spin on it to make it different enough. And it's like WandaVision, it was, classic looking. And this looks like we're going to be getting to go through a lot of those elements that are part of Vision's mind of his classic looking outfits and the house and different things like that. But as the trailer progresses, we're getting software updates or something. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like we're getting changes to go into the future or the present. And it's so exciting. And James Spader, man, come on.
I mean, just did a bit of research too. The fact that Jarvis is being played by Jarvis from Endgame, like he's Howard Stark's butler from the movie, is reprising his role as this
so cool,
like digital version. So cool, so cool.
And he was in S.H.I.E.L.D. apparently too. That's the same like Jarvis that was in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mean, I don't really count S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's such a weird timeline.
But it's weird though that they
show.
would bring that character over as the Jarvis,
Endgame.
right?
Endgame is where we saw that Jarvis. So that's all that matters, my friend.
Because that's who he's based off of. So you got to imagine there's some sort of code deep down in the recesses there that is being pulled back up.
Yeah, Howard Stark based him off of his own Jarvis, right?
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think what's interesting, and like you were pointing it out, it's that sort of parallel that this has with just WandaVision in that, there's this symbolism of a home, there's this symbolism of a safety net, a protection, something that is symbolic to a memory that Vision is kind of building and maintaining in a lot of ways. And yeah, like how we're going to basically relive these moments and unravel new things with Vision is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And like obviously the introduction of Thomas Shepard, which is obviously Tommy. Like I'm imagining that's
we're finding him in Madripoor. That's what it kind of looks like based on where we see his character in there. They're going,
but that might be in his mind, right? Because like it's also really interesting because there's a lot of like. What's interesting about that trailer is where is he, right? Like how is he? And he calls him out.
He's in Glasgow. right?
Yeah,
his actual body, I think, or
his physical form is there because he's working.
Yeah.
And then he obviously just goes into the back room and shuts down and then goes
in
into
the freezer.
He goes into his home, right?
Yeah.
And like his home is in his mind. And like it's this sort of pure place. Like you look at it, it's very cathedral style. Like the design of it is very interesting, and I could see it being like a maze of rooms, right? Like the outside, you know how when you see like a house in like TV, and it's like the outside and the inside don't necessarily match. And I think that's kind of the concept here. It's like there's rooms all over the place, and we just don't know where anything is, right?
And I wouldn't be surprised if the individual AIs aren't shaping their own little pocket of this house. And that's why we get the different looks or vibes or whatever based on whatever AI he's interacting with at the time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff they could do with it. It's really cool. I'm really excited.
And I know we can't spend too long on this. I just want a really quick yes or no. Elizabeth Olsen, we getting her? She's showing up?
I think if we get her, I don't think we get her as a physical form. It'll be part of a memory.
Sure,
I think
but like the actress will be in the show.
I think that's possible. I think though that you don't put that in until like the finale though.
Oh, absolutely.
No, and again, this is an exploration of Vision, and Vision was a lot before Wanda showed up. So I think we should find that character first before
that's true.
Wanda.
I think it would be probably better to focus less on the Wanda of it, and like because like he pretty much like as soon as he was introduced, he jumped into Wanda's arms, or Wanda jumped into his arms, if you will. So like it already started to kind of coalesce and happen. So it'd be interesting to just spend some time and have this show definitely be more Vision focused, and we're going to see memories. We're going to see memories with Wanda. That's without a doubt, and he's going to be able to piece that together from WandaVision, from everything. I think I saw a moment that looked like it was from the house in Westview. So I feel like there's going to be something that is going to be there, whether she's there physically, but we are going to revisit moments. I feel like it's just a matter of, like you're saying, do you think she's going to be in it? And we'll see.
That's exciting.
All right. Avengers Doomsday, Robert Downey Jr. appeared as Victor Von Doom alongside Chris Evans, Haley Atwell. The film places heroes from 3 universes on a collision course, drawing from Avengers, Fantastic Four, and the Legacy X-Men. The original X-Men, as Kevin Feige said. Mm-hmm. Anthony and Joe Russo direct the film, and it is hitting theaters December 18th, 2026. This was a very Doom-focused trailer, and my God, this one hit a lot better than that last one. That last one was like, okay, cool fan service, love seeing all this stuff, just doesn't make any sense. But at least this one had a lot more focus to it, being very much around Doom and pretty much confirming that he is from the 828 universe, that Reed and Sue have had a relationship or know him, or they're friends with Victor Von Doom. So that's cool, because I think we were all working under the assumption, I think most of the people on the internet were thinking he must be from another universe altogether.
I mean, the empty chair that they show in that movie was pretty heavy-handed to be like, it's this is the Doom we're waiting for. I don't know why they'd show that chair if it wasn't. It kind of seems weird for it to go another route. Well, it would be cool to see other Dooms. At least this Doom is the Doom we're starting with, at least, is the one they know. Who knows if that's the Doom we'll end with? Because I am still underneath the assumption that there is multiple Dooms at play.
I believe there is, and to go off of that really quickly, at Comic-Con they had different costumes on display, and they were rotating out. That's how we heard about these Latvian witches, and we saw the different colors. They also showcased Doom's costume. At D23, they also did the same thing by showcasing the costumes. No Latvian witches, but they did show a Doom costume that was more simple. Like, it was just clothing and a cloak and a simple mask. It didn't have the elevated look like he is, like we see in this trailer. So it makes me wonder, do we see a glow up of Doom? Do we get a flashback? Or are we going to, as you said, see other Dooms that are out there? I'm hoping for Cillian Murphy. I am really hoping.
It'd be really cool to see a council of Dooms at some point, and this is just another universe's Doom who's like, I'll have no part in this. You do your own thing, and we'll see who reigns supreme.
You Doom you.
Doom you. Good one.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, I agree with you. I think that could be very exciting. I love that idea. I feel as though I kind of feel though, just for emphasis on Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Doctor Doom, this specific character, I think it might be more along the lines of like a glow up, timey-wimey situation or flashbacks or what have you. But I think what got me so excited to what you said earlier, Justin, was the line in this trailer. I knew he was lost, but I did not realize that he was broken, right? And like you said, it does confirm that previous relationship that Sue and Reed had with Victor. I hope that we really get more of a focus on that, because coming to this character, this Doom character that a lot of people are kind of feeling like is sort of just dropping in here, I'm excited for the idea that they could maybe take a little bit of time to explore that and give us maybe to that, maybe less ornate version of the costume. Maybe we get to see a little bit more of that version of Doom with Reed and Sue. And then I also really love, all of you have lived stolen lives, but now you must give them back. Because I think this gives us more idea of what his intention is, and the idea that he's doing all this, kind of out of jealousy of these people who have all found ways to either manipulate the timeline or escape their death that they shouldn't have, and the idea that maybe he wants vengeance for the ways in which they did that, causing what he has lost to happen. So I feel like there could be something along those lines. Again, I've been talking about the idea that he's trying to get his family back, his wife, his kid, or his mom, or whoever. But I just really love the idea that it's like, you all caused this for me, and now I'm going to take it back. And the only way to take it back is to destroy everything you love. I
honestly don't think there could be he might not have any personal stake on it, because Dr. Doom doesn't need a personal stake to do these great evils. He believed that he's saving the planet and is doing the right thing. That is always what makes him such an interesting villain, is that he believes he is right. And that's why over the years, despite him being their arch enemy, he still is friends with the Richards and the Fantastic Four and stuff like that. Like, he is still very much in their lives, despite being such a great evil. It's because he believes he's right. So again, I'm always hoping that there is no personal connection, and he's just doing this to right a wrong in a cosmic scale.
But I think they need to find a way to ingratiate audiences to him, because it does feel like in the marketing that they're trying to do this idea, or at least from what Robert Downey was doing, of like, are you Team Doom, or you're Team Avengers, but you're gonna be Team Doom. I love the idea of going into this movie feeling like we're on one side, and then coming out of this movie sort of feeling like maybe Doom's kind of right. And to your point, Darcy, they could find ways to convince us of that don't involve a personal stake for him. I'm not saying that has to be the case. I just like that overall idea.
I do think you're right, Darcy. I think this isn't about personal stakes. I think he's lost his family. It's clear he's lost people that he's loved based on whatever's happened,
because he didn't do the biggest choice or make that hard choice. So now he's going to make that hard choice for every universe in existence.
Exactly. And I think that is his motive. And I think he understands that basically, while we are so grateful that they were able to snap everyone back and they were able to course correct the timeline, it was not meant to be. And this is the outcome. And it's not Doom. It's everything else that's happening, right?
And he's trying to maybe reverse that for all the other people who have lost their families because of the same reason or something like that.
He's almost trying to, he's trying to, basically what he's going to do is build Battle World to save everyone. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Battle World is what is what
the incursions are going to keep happening, and no one can fully stop them. So he's going to scavenge the pieces that remain and make a new world.
But you guys are both touching on the fact that of one thing that the Russo brothers have talked about in great lengths with the Doom character is that they love a villain that you can actually that thinks that they're right, and that the audience will appreciate and connect with. And to the point of what you were saying, it's the same thing with Thanos. Like Thanos, it's like, is he wrong? Probably not. Is he misguided? Sure. You know what I mean? And I think there might be a bit of that in understanding Doom, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing if there's going to be more Dooms, and there's some wild rumors online about Cillian Murphy being one of the Dooms that is in here. And it makes a lot of sense given the relationship that the two of them have after Oppenheimer, that he could easily say like, hey man, like, why don't you come over and, be a Doom character, right? Everyone wants it. You know what I mean? It would be a pretty big surprise, right? And I'm sure Robert Downey could talk Cillian Murphy to do it. If it's not like a permanent thing, or if it's just like a cameo thing.
I mean, again, being Doom is very easy. He wears a mask almost all the time, so that's just an easy body double and some ADR in a booth later on. Like,
It'll be wild though. Like, it'll be crazy to see if they actually, if it is that, or if they actually go further. Right? Like, there's a lot of theories about deception, and because like obviously based on this trailer, and this is I guess again, not really rumors or spoilers, but it's clear that this whole conversation with Sue and the Avengers and everyone there, it's after they've realized or they've been introduced to Doom, right? And Victor. So something has happened beforehand. Do people die? Is there actions that are, I think Reed's not in that scene other than with Victor as he, I guess, explains and shows. So do we lose Reed? I feel like we won't, but who knows? But I wonder though, like, what's happening? How do we get there? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the thing that's driving them? Is it just Reed kind of seeing that all of these planets are colliding and he creates this plan and then realizes, oh, Victor's behind it? Or there's a lot of theories that there's a friendly face that we haven't seen in these trailers that's being omitted, that's helping them with, hey, this is happening, we need to fix this, and Reed's kind of the guy with the plan as he's kind of moving through it. So I'm interested in understanding how we get to these moments that we see in this trailer.
I mean, that role could be a Loki, it could be a Doctor Strange, it could be a few things, but I really love the idea of Reed in the trailer. He's like, did you do this? Did you do this? And I just love the idea that we didn't see, and I hope it's just Doctor Doom going, no, you did. It was like, whoa! Like, it was so sick. The idea, because that does look like a version of Manhattan that's been.
It looks like multiple
destroyed.
Versions of Manhattan being stitched together in Battle World. So
or it looks like an incursion that is taking place where they literally collide. And when we saw it in Doctor Strange, where you see pieces are literally torn up and gravity goes all wonky. Incursions are horrible. So I can see again with Monica being stuck in the X-Men universe, maybe that's how they find contact with ours and they try and save one of the two universes without destroying anything. But Doom comes along and says we have to destroy it. It's the only way. And maybe that leads us into the rest of it. I don't know, but like there are people on each of the in each of the universes that could find out what's going on at large with the radiation, all this stuff, blah, 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 insert comic mumbo jumbo. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're already exploring on their own, and it's Doctor Doom is just a side effect that enters the picture after, again, Thor going off on his own or encountering him like he seems to be doing in this one, or repeating the role like he did in Infinity War, where he encounters Thanos, and that's the setup of how powerful this character is type thing.
But again, to retread is very I don't know if that's necessarily what they should do, but you're right. Like they could be using Thor as the character because he's a god, right? And he's like one of the most powerful, and obviously
and that
him
hammer,
Stormbreaker.
that Stormbreaker, that axe is more powerful than the
it's cut through the Infinity Stones, right?
But not his fingers.
But not his fingers,
Doom's
right?
fingers,
so he has mystical powers beyond the power of the Infinity Stones. Yeah. A lot of people are suggesting that Peggy Carter could be the one in disguise that is the villain of it all, maybe one of those Latvian witches that has taken the shape. There's a lot of cool, like, interesting stories. Obviously, there's a lack of justification, but the rumor mills be milling, bro. And
Marvel fans love to be Marvel fans,
bro.
Well, I mean, it's just again coming from the source material. Doom doesn't do it alone, so they're not unfounded rumors, at least. So
yeah, and also just how do we get to Secret Wars, right? Like we know, like, if they are basing it off of Hickman's Time Runs Out, which does lead into Secret Wars, his story, there's probably some layers there that could tell us. But I haven't read that comic, but it's on my watch or my
definitely
read list.
It's a wicked run. That into Secret Wars, into Battle World, some of my favorite Marvel storytelling.
Yeah, I stopped reading Secret Wars when I found out that this comes out before, and I was like, okay, I need to read that because of the way Secret Wars begins. I was like, okay, I should probably read that. So, but yeah, it's there's a lot, but that wasn't it for Marvel. They wrapped their presentation with the reveal of the cast of X-Men. Jake Schreier directs a new team led by Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Kit Connor as Scott Summers, Christopher Abbott as Charles Xavier, Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, Indy Navarrete as Rogue, and Maya Boyd as Storm. And Adam Driver will be playing not Magneto, but Nathaniel Milbury.
Which that whole crowd was like,
who the hell is that? Yeah. He might as well just said Mr. Sinister. They gave us a release date, and the movie opens May 5th, 2028. So I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room. I was completely wrong. Happy to be wrong. I
was completely right.
Yeah, he was saying it before Brand New Day. It took Brand New Day for me to come around and say it was happening.
Right?
So.
Sure.
Come on.
And
I
I
guess
guess
he was before the movie.
I know,
so
but
happy.
what's interesting is that this was all basically put together very quickly. Like these conversations were happening, but as Kevin Feige said when he was on stage, they literally just met. Everyone literally just met.
I think the ink was still drying on Indy Navarrete's contract.
Probably. Yeah. I think she was pretty locked in though from the get-go. But this is exciting. We have our next generation X-Men. They really just wanted to get them out there to introduce. We got no Beast. There was other people in the rumor mill too of like other characters. I won't talk about necessarily the actors. Well, Charles Melton was heavily rumored to be this universe's Beast, which would be great. That's still up in the air. There were talks of adding a Nightcrawler, adding Mystique, adding obviously a Magneto who is absent. Everyone was certain it was going to be Adam Driver. I prefer him.
This is where I was right. I knew it would be.
Yeah,
Magneto.
I know. I said the same thing. I was like, it has to be. Like if it's not Mr. Sinister, then we riot, because I feel like this is going to give him so much more to do. And everyone's like, isn't it like a Kylo Ren? And I'm like, do you know who Mr. Sinister is? Do you know how dramatic and theatrical he can be? Like this would be like, he would eat this up. Like, so I'm excited for this cast. How did you guys feel about this announcement?
I mean, Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister is awesome. Like, I think to your point, like I want them to go, I don't want them to go wacky, but I want them to go unhinged. And Adam Driver can do unhinged. And I think that it will be great to sort of see if we can get a balance of, like, he's got such an incredible range as an actor. So I think if we can get a villain that is equal parts scary and equal parts weird, is really, really cool. And the Nathaniel Milbury of it all is really intriguing. It's like, I guess it's going to be some timey-wimey stuff, because I was reading, and Darcy, correct us if we're wrong, but like Nathaniel Milbury is like from a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
like it's an alias that he used in like the 1800s, 1900s.
Yeah, because
like
he is like, using his genetics and stuff like that. He has given himself all these longevity powers and longevity powers, and all these other things. I think one of the interesting things though is that the fact that they're saying Nathaniel Milbury maybe is going to be playing a good character, because at times he does try and be a good doctor while he's doing his sick, twisted experiments in the basement. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be almost another friend mentor route, where he's a friend of Xavier's at the school, and then you find out that he's been doing some sick and twisted shit, and then get the heel turn. I think it'd be really cool to go that route.
And is there going to be a school? Like, I think the school is inevitable, right? But I don't know if it's guaranteed in this first movie. Right? Like, the other thing too is, like, I was really surprised with the characters that they brought out, because there was a lot of rumors about like the original 5, Iceman, Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Angel, right? But we got 3 of those characters, if I'm not we got 3 of those characters, right? So, and then they threw in Samara Weaving, which I think, again, she's going to be an interesting, they threw in Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, and I think Emma Frost adding to this is going to be really, really interesting. But I was surprised to hear like they were going to add Rogue in this and Storm, because there was a lot of rumors that they wanted to do like a Captain Marvel 3 and introduce Rogue in that movie, and then, do a Black Panther 3 and introduce Storm in that film, which I think does work. Like, if you're going to do this whole, like what you did with Sadie Sink, introducing Jean Grey in Spider-Man, it's kind of cool if you were to kind of say, okay, well, we got some other plans here for other characters to show up in other movies that will have like integral roles that will be meaningful in the X-Men franchise. I think that's very cool to do, and I think I would like to see that. But it's interesting that we're getting Rogue and Storm in this film.
I think it's still a very real possibility that we could see them in those movies in the future, right after this. I I'm so happy that Indy Navarrete is playing Rogue in this movie. I think, when Darcy and I sat down at TIFF for a little movie called Obsession for the first time and saw this just unbelievable performance on screen, we had no idea we were looking at the future Rogue. So I think it's going to be really cool. Jake Schreier said that this is going to be no other X-Men films that have been on the big screen before. And so I think it's really exciting. I would love, I'm interested to see, are they going to go the route where she does have an accent? I would kind of like them to do the the X-Men Evolution version of her character. I think would fit Indy Navarrete really, really well. Just that sort of Southern goth style. I don't know. Do you think she has to have the accent, or could we go without the accent?
I think she can have nuances of it.
Yeah, it could be a subdued accent, but I mean,
she's not going to be out there
from
saying
the
sugar.
South is kind of it's kind of part of her character. It's
Sure.
You can't do it. Gambit not being Cajun would also be kind of silly,
Right?
Sure,
But
that's fair.
the thing though too, it's to have those origins is one thing, right? They need to have those origins, in my opinion. It's the same thing that with everyone talking about. Well, if they introduce Magneto, will he have the Holocaust backstory? And it's if you remove that from that character, it what are you going to do? And how does that What's
the
say?
justification
What's
from
the
a storytelling
justification?
perspective to do something like that?
Exactly.
Well,
What is
the only issue is
justification?
time and removal from it now. How
Right,
old
exactly.
would Magneto be? Because if we're setting a school in 2026, he can only be so old to have been a Holocaust survivor, and
Sure.
would he still be a viable villain at that point or that
Sure.
age type thing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Or if we do get some timey-wimey stuff going on, I mean, again, I think Secret Wars and Doomsday and everything we've experienced in terms of time elements and time travel, if we are getting to, a Sinister who eventually leads us to, an apocalypse, not immediately, but somewhere down the line, who's to say that we're not maybe doing a bit of time travel and that's where we end up meeting Magneto, or maybe, they change it completely and Xavier and him become friends in very different ways.
Well, yeah, but that's, I think though that's to do that will be, and people won't like that, in my
no,
opinion.
and
I
especially
personally
after the multiverse saga and how confusing people found that.
Exactly.
You throwing timey-wimey travel stuff into it is just going to make it even more convoluted.
I feel like they just need to be straight to the point with this one. But going back to what I was talking about in regards to Indy Navarrete having an accent, or if they were to bring in a Gambit, none of those characters that were in the original, Anna Paquin, she didn't really have an accent. She just kind of said some things that rolled off as a bit Southern, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know it wasn't necessarily the best adaptation of Gambit, but Taylor Kitsch's adaptation, people liked it from a certain angle, and he had nuances of that Cajun. And I think that's how I'd like to see it, rather than super thing. Because I will say, I love Channing Tatum. I love the adaptation that he's done with Gambit, but it's more on the jokey side than it is in the serious side.
I'm hoping that Doomsday will be a more serious version of that Gambit, I think.
Yeah, I think it has to be, right?
Because he's not in a comedy in that.
Well,
right?
There you go, right?
It's not shout out to my daddy Dick Ritter.
Yeah, so shout out my daddy's dick.
That Gambit is dead. This is a different Channing Tatum.
It's completely different.
Oh no, he's still alive, man. Remember
I think
the
he
ring,
was the one pulled through the portal,
he's pulled through the portal. He survived.
Oh, right.
Someone pulled him through.
That's how we're going to see Deadpool in Doomsday. But I think the idea of them all being younger, right? This cast is a younger cast. They're in their early 20s. Xavier, I think, is 40 years old. Is cool. I think that is them saying, hey, we are investing in the future. These are the next Avengers movies. This X-Men franchise is the next. When you get a new X-Men movie, that's going to be your new Avengers level film. And I think that's really, really exciting. The fact that Maya Boy is only 23 and Aurora is usually more of a mentor figure is really cool. It's a different direction to go with her. I think it's going to separate her and kind of really let her kind of do her own thing with the character. But the fact that she has nothing in her IMDb besides she's huge in the theater world.
They're all theater kids, though. They all
Which
come
is
from
great,
some theater background.
Because look at X-Men 97. Look how freaking theatrical those moments are that we all love from that series and from the original X-Men animated series. Let's get more of that. You know what I mean? Let's get more of the theatrical side. You can still do it grounded, but I think Jake Schreier doing this, saying it's going to be different, I'm looking forward to it. And I think the idea that we could see Maya growing into this larger than life persona goddess is really exciting.
I think theatrical, like a Broadway background doesn't mean theatrical. It just means, like, in my mind, what it speaks to is these actors understanding how to emote and live with feelings with the writing in the moment, rather than relying on, like, I need to move to the next thing. Because the stage performance is very, like, it unfolds, it happens. Mm-hmm. There is theatricality, 100%. But, like, I think what we've seen from actors who do start in Broadway and come to the screen is that they're more comfortable with identifying and figuring out how to emote these characters, that is less concerned with, like having to just kind of move beyond it. It's about living with it and finding that. And I'm interested because, like, Jake Schreier is a very, grounded filmmaker. He has that approach, and there's going to be some extraordinary things in this film. But, like, I think there's something interesting about most of this cast having some form of Broadway or theater background in sort of a character experience, because I don't, like, Maya Boyd sings great. Do I see Storm having a singing sequence?
No,
like,
not necessarily. But I'm talking about Loki. Like, Tom Hiddleston came from a theater background.
Right.
And he is a god, and he has very big, boisterous moments in the MCU. That's the level that I'm talking about. Like, getting a sequence of her flying up into the sky and giving something, like some.
But Storm,
really
I think,
dope,
for, like,
we're getting a younger
I get
Storm.
Right. She's not going to be there yet.
She's not going to be the goddess.
I'm
She'll
saying
be the street
it's exciting
thief.
to see her being able to take this and grow with it and bring it into the character at some point.
Yeah.
It depends. Again, if this is an interpretation of the character, she might not be one who becomes a goddess. She might be called, or that's like her moniker, but she might not ever be revered as a goddess,
right?
Because she didn't have that. Like, if she's, again, her backstory in the thing is she was a street urchin in the streets in a city in Africa, and then rose, once her powers awoke, and she rose to become this god that all the other street urchins started worshiping, and eventually she became ruler of the tribe, basically. Mm-hmm. So if you remove that, and she's at X-Men's, or at Xavier's school when she's in her teens or late 20s, whatever, then you're taking away part of what made that character's ascension to goddess happen. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a different interpretation of the character, which would be really cool to see, and I'm completely on board with it.
I think she's gonna start off claustrophobic and not as this big goddess, right? Obviously,
yeah, she's gonna have trauma, and I think all of them are
gonna start with that.
Yeah, they're all, but that's gonna be
that's what awakens powers. So.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what they're gonna kind of pull through as a thread between all of them is understanding their trauma.
I can't wait.
It comes out May 5th, 2028. I'm like surprised that it's coming out that
it might
soon.
get pushed.
It could get pushed to 2029, but that's a big push because they already have other things in 2028 like Ghost Rider and Black Panther.
True.
So it could get pushed. We'll see. Quick one here. Marvel's Wolverine was also on stage for a little bit. Do you want to talk about that, or?
I mean, I didn't see this trailer. Darcy, did you see this trailer?
No, I did not.
No, and we've been talking about the preview stuff off air. We're both very excited. We don't need any more trailers.
Okay, cool.
It's good. We're good.
All right.
I don't know, Darcy. Do you have anything you want to say?
Perfect. All right, let's move into Lucasfilm then. They hit the stage, and first thing they showed was Ahsoka Season 2. Ahsoka and Sabine remain beyond the known galaxy and must find their way home, while Hera, Ezra, Zeb, and Chopper confront Grand Admiral Thrawn. The season also examines what being a Jedi now means to Ahsoka. We got a hell of a lot of Anakin in this trailer, because yes, there was a trailer that was shared online, and the series premieres January 20th, 2027. You guys both watched the trailer, I imagine. I've watched it numerous times. Looks great. It looks awesome. Looks really, really good. What's jumping out to you first, Darce?
I mean, just the fact that we're getting more flashbacks into other windows in that Clone Wars era, I think, is what I'm most excited for. We're getting Ariana Greenblatt coming back as young Ahsoka has me super excited, because, again, that is just seeing the green lightsaber pop up again with Anakin, and it's like, oh, we're back in the Clone Wars. I can't wait to see what we're unfolding or exploring through this moment. So, just how it all is going to relate back to the present is so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I'm so happy it's January. Like, it just feels like, okay, great. Like it feels like we're almost there. And this trailer looked fantastic. I think the first season, I think we all really enjoyed it well enough. But I do think that it had to struggle in that sort of like halfway point between servicing Rebels fans and introducing these characters to an audience who don't really know of them prior, and maybe have only ever watched the live action stuff. And this trailer made me feel like the training wheels are coming off. We're going full Filoni on this. It's going to continue the story of Rebels even further. We're getting into the Thrawn of it all. Dude, the shot of the 3 B-Wings firing lasers in sync across the bow of the Chimera looked so freaking cool and epic. And it reminded me of some of the space battles in Rogue One. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I have no idea what's going on with that white-bladed lightsaber that guy has, where it's like coming out in the middle. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Hayden. I'm excited for it all. Very cool.
Pretty sure it's called a saber staff. I think that's what it is in the extended lore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's another version of what Maul uses.
Cool.
Yeah, it does feel like there's going to be a lot of like little extended lore things in this. You know what I mean? Like there's some cool stuff, and yeah, it's when we were in at Star Wars Celebration, we saw like a rough teaser, which was just storyboards and visual sketches, and to see some of that come to life in this was pretty cool. It was really cool. And I'm excited to see
the Grievous Hu Yang.
Yeah,
is so sick, right? And
there's a flaming sword too, right? When they're like one, and that
I think,
was like
I think
green.
Ezra's holding it. Yeah,
no, it's not Ezra. He attacked someone with a lightsaber, like one of the death troopers, if you will, or the zombie troopers, and then the blade starts to like fire. It's pretty cool. It looks really, really good. But thankfully, we don't have to wait too long for that. So January 20th, 2027. So
and Lars Mikkelsen looks even better, I think, this time around.
And he seems confident. He seems really confident, and it's clear like he's using those like he's resurrecting those witches to be his army, right? As he kind of commands the galaxy. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
And just really quick, if somebody's listening to this who isn't planning on watching this, really quick, please watch it, or just turn it on your TV and stream it, because like honestly, Justin, you and I were talking about this before, and you were saying Star Wars is in a really weird place. And as much as I love the consistency of Star Wars animation, the consistency of quality in Star Wars animation on Disney Plus, it would be such a huge bummer for them to stop even temporarily making live action Star Wars series on Disney Plus. I think even at its worst, The Mandalorian was so great to have that sort of weekly Star Wars show that we were getting. And I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give up the opportunity that we'll ever get another Andor, or another Skeleton Crew. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like we're at a place right now where if this doesn't do well, it's dangerous for live action Star Wars series.
I don't think so. I think Star Wars live action series is thriving. Like Star Wars in the theater is a bit more like on thin ice. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, they've really found a place in the episodic long form content on streaming versus in theaters. Like that pivot has helped, right? Gave us The Mandalorian, has given us, not everything's been perfect, right? Gave us Andor.
Come on.
Yeah, Andor is perfect, right? But I'm just saying, like, not everything was. Like, Acolyte wasn't. You know what I mean? It seemed cool, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Skeleton Crew, yeah. Book of Boba Fett, but it's still like, it's this idea of, rather than, containing these Star Wars stories to just a movie, a 2-hour, 2.5-hour film, it's, an 8-episode series. And I think people have been invested in it. Ahsoka season 1 performed so well. Like, it did really, really well, which is why I think it was easy for them to turn around and do a season 2. And again, if season 2 delivers.
I'm just worried about the fact that we don't have a Mandalorian season 4. We don't have a Skeleton Crew season 2. We don't have,
but that could be them figuring out what do they want to do. I agree Star Wars is in a weird place because it doesn't know if it should be on TV or if it should be in the theaters. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it
should be everywhere.
Yeah, but that's you, right? Like that's you and probably like a handful of Star Wars fans. But for them, they're not seeing, I don't know if they're necessarily seeing the reason to, like, they want to get back to theaters. And the next thing we're going to talk about, Star Wars Starfighter, will definitely, I think, be a step in the right direction, because it might be the thing outside of the whole Star Wars. Maybe Mandalorian was too Star Wars to a degree. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was, so we'll let's talk about it.
It was not the way.
It was not the way. That definitely, yes, correct. It was not the way. But yeah, Sean Levy directs Ryan Gosling as a cynical rogue whose mysterious past throws him into a dangerous galactic adventure. Matt Smith, Mia Goth, Aaron Pierre, that guy, and Amy Adams co-star. The film opens May 28th, 2027. Now, this was another one of those situations. Footage was shared at D23 for the audience in the Honda Center. We did not see it ourselves. We did see it. We did see it thanks to someone who filmed it.
My downloads folder says otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't see it?
Fair.
No, okay.
I was asleep.
That's totally fair.
But what's interesting about this is we talked about it offline, Nate, is the focus on the starfighter of it all.
Yes.
And the importance that has. It doesn't really tell us a lot about who Ryan Gosling's character is, or
we have a name.
We do have a name, but it's not in the thing, right? We don't.
Cade Alberon. Alberon or something. Yeah, a lot of people were speculating when there was first rumblings of his name being Cade. I think there's a Cade Skywalker in the extended lore that I'm not aware of, and they were really hoping for something like that. And I'm like, I'm so happy that is not the case, because I just want to get as far into the future of Star Wars as this movie seems like it's going to take us. But Cade,
it's not taking us that far.
Is dope.
It's not taking us that far into the future.
It's taking us past anything we've seen so far, right? Like this is
right, but it's after
Skywalkers would still be a name that's recent.
No, for sure.
It's like 5 years after the events of Rise of the Skywalker.
Yes, I'm just
that's
saying
not
I'm excited to explore stories that are not necessarily a Skywalker story.
Sure, yes.
And the idea of like this kid finding this starfighter, the G-17 Imperial Reaper, the fastest starfighter ever built, is just so freaking rad. And the fact that Ryan Gosling had that sick jacket that we're all going to buy one, we know it. Like, we're just going to all wear it at some point.
It's a custom jacket. Did you see? Like
we'll get our own custom-made versions of it. But I think it looks so good. And there's a water planet with some skiff kite surfing, which I think was from that first promotional photo that they had put out, that we saw them kind of like on a raft sort of thing, and a glossy gray droid that I'm sure is going to have a British accent, and then just there's a dope shot of the external of the ship as it sort of is, stars are flying by it in rapid succession that just looks so cool, and I can't wait. And like you said, Justin, like we were talking offline, like coming off of the Ninth Jedi having such an irreverence for the lightsaber of all things, getting into something like this where it's like the starfighter is the really cool thing is awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense to focus on the ships and everything like that, because when you take away the lightsaber, the next coolest part about Star Wars are the ships and the ship battles and all that stuff. So the fact that we're going to be focusing on that is neat, and the idea that, again, in Star Wars lore, great pilots usually have some connection to the Force, but they aren't Jedi. So it's neat to explore, or we could be exploring potentially another avenue of the Force and how that could manifest itself across the galaxy, which is always neat.
Yeah. And that's always been an ongoing conversation, because like there was like this idea that like the Force and being a Jedi was like a family lineage thing, which is why so many people were always like, it's a Skywalker, and then people are like, no, we need to get away from the Skywalkers, right? Like it's not that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not a dynasty thing. It's not a cultural thing. It's more of again, it's a religious thing, right? If you have this ability and you commit yourself to the faith of being a Jedi, and believe in the Force and believe in what it's capable of, you can practice to be a Jedi, like being a monk being a person of the church, if you will, right? Using
or finding your way through the Force in other ways, though, too, right? Like we've seen
but that's what I'm saying.
Of different people, yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what I'm saying, though, right? Like that in itself is almost, which is why the Jedi have always kind of been kind of framed in sort of a like, are they right or are they just a cult? Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like that's kind of what Luke was kind of dealing with understanding like how he looked at the Jedi after everything that had happened, right? But yeah, I think that's the main thing. We need to get outside of this idea of that if the Force and the Jedi are kind of married to each other. No, the Jedi are people that know how to use the Force and use it in a different way. There can be people that are force sensitive, like we were touching on with, even Poe Dameron, potentially being a force user. I think in the comics they were touching on some of that as well, right?
He grew up with a tree in his backyard that was connected to the force or some bullshit.
I mean, even Finn was supposed to.
Well, that's Finn. Yeah, Finn was definitely was destined to be a Jedi, and I think there was a broader conversation that trilogy was supposed to talk about in terms of like the Force and who has that power. It's not just something reserved for Jedis. So yeah, I agree with you, Durs. I think it would be great to see them explore that in a larger capacity. Okay, we're moving into Disney animation. Zootopia 3 confirmed. We're getting it. No date. Makes a lot of sense than what made like billions of dollars the last year. So,
and they also gave us a cliffhanger that clearly teased a third movie. So
sure.
Birds.
Was Nick Wilde holding a baby bunny that looked like a fox? Was that
you saw the AI version of the trailer?
That was
Justin?
what that was.
Don't look into don't go any further into that realm of the fandom. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is good. I mean, the Zootopia writing team, their creativity knows no bounds, and they can continuously come up with animal puns and expand this world forever, and that's really exciting. I think it's going to be good, and we'll see.
2 was good. It was okay. Like it made billions of dollars, and I can see that this is like it's easy money for them. But I was really impressed with their next announcement, the original film, Clay. Mm-hmm. Kieran Culkin voices Flip, a rebellious magical forest creature unexpectedly selected to mentor a young ball of clay named Mushy. The concept art looks cool. There was no footage that was shared there, but it looked cool. I'm glad that they're doing an original story.
Yeah, there's not much to go off of with this one, right? Besides that concept art, I think. Fun, Veerson Thorne getting to getting more directing gigs, right? Like she's doing Hex, she did Wish. And now Clay, Kieran Culkin as a lead for this is really what's got my ticket sold already, which is really exciting to see him in a Disney animated project. So, I'm happy they're doing more original stories over at Disney as well. You know what I mean? Like we talked about it with Pixar. Stoked to see it continuing to happen with Disney, even though, I don't think Wish did as well as they would have wanted it to. I'm happy to sort of see that we're continuing it. So. Yeah,
I'm just curious how a ball of clay can be mentored, because so far that doesn't seem like a magical creature to me. But I'm open to be wowed. So yeah, I'm curious to see what this is about.
Yeah, we got more details about Hexed as well, which is coming out later this year. Haley Steinfeld voices Billy Doe, a teenager who discovers magical abilities. Radisha Jones plays her mother, which is pretty crazy. Walton Goggins is a 3-eyed magical cat named Beef Roger Crumchuck.
You have to be very careful how you pronounce it.
Try not to say that wrong. And then Jodie Foster voices the power-hungry queen, Celeste. The movie comes out later this year, November 25th, 2026. Again, there wasn't anything that was shown that was revealed to the outside audience, other than this just felt like an opportunity for them to come out and properly promote to the D23 audience. I was thinking that for this, they would actually release like a behind the scenes featurette that would go into more detail for like us outside of the D23.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not going to happen until closer to November 25th.
Well, they gave us the character of Beef Roger Crumchuck, and specifically that we knew that Walton Goggins was in this movie. We didn't know who he was playing.
Jodie Foster was a surprise.
Jodie Foster, yeah, that's kind of cool, and seeing she's going to be, I guess, the villain is what they described, or a sinister figure, right? But yeah, Beef Roger Crumchuck, I mean, dude, Walton Goggins is just so good in everything he does. And so to get his voice in a weird little, like, I don't know, like cat looking thing, like with multiple
three-eyed.
eyes.
Yeah,
three-eyed cat is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what this one's about. I mean, leading up to it, I think me and Nate were talking offline how weird the framing is, how it looks like it's almost shot for vertical footage and to be viewed on phones with all the stuff I've seen so far.
With the trailer, yeah.
With the trailer and stuff.
It's just very centered. Everything is very
so I'm hoping that's just a trailer and not just a trend that follows through the whole movie. Again, it has me worried that they are designing this movie to be chopped
watched
up
on
and spliced
TikTok.
on, watched. Yeah, it feels like that's the route they're going, at least from the trailer. I'm hoping that that's not the case, and I was kind of hoping we'd get something from this reveal or this announcement that would deter me from that thought so far. But again, the story and premise alone, now the cast additions, has me interested. So
yeah, I think the trailer was probably like my intention is like an editor would to think about like it's versatile. So cut the trailer in a way that it can just instantly be popped into a vertical format for promotional purposes across the board. If you're shooting the movie that way, then that's another thing, right? Because there's no depth, there's no sense of depth.
Yeah, it's just how they got a trailer like that is just like concerning. If they did the whole movie like that type thing, I don't know. Again, I'll wait to be surprised.
We'll wait to see. Yeah, we'll wait to see if there's a lot of it, but also the symmetry and the sort of centrality of the shots might play into the whole story of magic, right? And something along those lines too. So.
And she's caught in the middle between two worlds.
There you go. It basically gave it a justification. There you go.
Yeah.
Frozen 3 was also presented. This basically closed out the event. And this, obviously, Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel performed a new version of Frozen Heart, while Josh Gad introduced Olaf's love song, Oh, Samantha. New animation hinted at a villain whose powers may rival Elsa. Jennifer Lee and Trent Corey direct the November 24th, 2027 release. So this is coming out next year. So we heard about Frozen 3 in 2024 when we went to D23. So it is nice that we got an update here. Was it you who was saying, Nate, that like we thought that they were going to do 3 and 4, but it looks like they're just doing 3.
I think they have talked about in the past that the production was happening at the same time.
Yeah, they announced that last D23. They were talking about how 3 and 4 were kind of being worked on at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So we're only getting to see 3 right now.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, again, this was another situation. Nothing was shared to audiences outside of the Honda Center, but thankfully someone filmed some stuff. I did see the extended clip online. It looks really good. The animation looks really good. The characters look good. Even again, being shot on a phone from a goddamn screen. They had a setup of at D23 as like a photo op with these new characters. They look great. Like those sculpts are like the statues that they have there are definitely based off of the new look for these characters. They look fantastic. The figures and the way they're designing them and animating them is so well done. And you can see it just in this little like clip that was shown there that they're leaning into adapting and kind of keeping the characteristics of the original, but taking the animation a lot further.
Mm-hmm. What's just really cool is that, again, this villain almost seems to be going back to the inspiration for the story of Frozen, which was the Hans Christian Andersen, I think, Ice Princess story, where it is a more villainous figure who is the Ice Princess or Ice Queen. So it's cool to have this idea of another figure coming in who is maybe closer to that original tale as a foil for this inspired by that tale character. It's a neat idea.
Yeah, I wonder if she's a long lost sister in Frozen 3. The third sister is revealed, but no, I maybe not. But they came out and sang Frozen Heart, Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel, and it reminded me a lot of Agatha all along. Like I know Catherine Hahn was probably on my brain quite a bit throughout this entire panel.
She's been on your brain forever, bro.
Forever, bro. She's the best. But the fact that they sang this song that like. I guess they're singing about the villain, so it's meant to kind of sound a bit scary. It wasn't like my favorite musical performance from this specific section.
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch this song.
Oh, yeah, you should check it out. It's a good song. It's just it's a strange choice for this specific event. Sure. However, Olaf singing about his snowman girlfriend, Samantha, was awesome. Like Josh Gad can do no wrong, and I love that. You know, from the footage that we did see, he's poking fun. At Kristoff, not being a good husband or whatever. He's been married for a day or something. Like, I'm excited to see the wedding. I'm excited to see where they take this story, and I'm looking forward to it.
Cool, awesome. Okay, well, that was like the bulk of what was super important on Friday. I do have a couple honorable mentions that we can quickly get through. Okay, the first is Percy Jackson. I know we're all Percy Jackson fans. I actually really enjoyed this trailer that they showed. The third season adapts the Titan's Curse. Walker Scobell appears with Ming-Na Wen and as Hera, and Andra Day, who plays Athena. It premieres November 20th, 2026. The trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm stoked for this. Again, this is love the story growing up, and I can't wait to see how they continue adapting these books going forward. Again, knowing where the story goes, we're only just getting to where it really becomes like Harry Potter. Takes a while for the story to grow up with the audience. After this book is where it starts growing up with the audience, much like Prisoner of Azkaban. So I'm really excited for this one to come around again, getting to start peeling back the mystery between the big three and the why there's a prophecy about their kids type thing. I can't wait.
I was just going to say, it's giving Prisoner of Azkaban, like the elements that feel so much darker in this trailer. It looks very mature. It looks like the pacing is going to be better this time around, or at least I'm hoping it will be, that they've maybe learned from the first two seasons of this show. And the fact that we're getting so much in this trailer makes me think like it's so intense. I feel as though there's not going to be that much time for the filler this time around. And yeah, I'm excited to see these kids grow up and mature with these stories. I think there's some really good acting in this series. And so I'm just excited to see them going forward. And yeah, dude, Ming-Na Wen, Kate McKinnon, Daphne Keane, like it's a stacked season. So
I didn't see Daphne Keane in the trailer though.
She was in some of the press stuff that they
they did like a whole press panel at,
because we know she's in season 3.
Yeah, we do know she's in season 3, but I was surprised we didn't see her. And then they did a panel, I think the next day, hosted by Soups.
I think we'll get a trailer closer to with a character reveal
for sure, probably, hopefully. But yeah, I think the maturity is definitely stepped up, and it definitely gives Prisoner of Azkaban vibes. I think Nate and I were talking about that. It feels like this is where we're starting to see them kind of mature. The tone gets a little bit darker. I've been told like that scene where Annabeth gets taken in the trailer, that's the first episode. Wow. So I think that's because that sets the tone for the rest of the season. So I think that's really, really cool, the idea of like raising the stakes like that. I don't think that's gonna. I think it's still going to have pacing issues. It's going to move things pretty quickly, but it might stay. It might stay just more focused though, and that's to me that's what I would like to see.
Yep.
Okay, the last one here is Kingdom Hearts anime. Disney Channel and Disney Plus have greenlit an original anime developed by Tetsuya Nomura and Square Enix. It will expand the universe with a new story rather than directly adapting the game. So,
because the game is too hard to adapt.
That's the case. And honestly, that was like the first thing I was going to say is I'm so happy that they're not doing the game story.
So is Mickey going to be in it though?
So Mickey isn't a main character in the games. He's always missing or in trouble, and you're going to rescue him. That's kind of the whole plot of the game. That's why you're teaming up with Mickey and Goofy, as Sora is the Mickey stand-in in the group.
Okay.
What'll be interesting is if it's going to be a Sora story. That's what I'm really waiting to see. If it's a Sora story, I'm hoping it isn't a direct adaptation. It is going to sum up events to a certain point so people aren't just confused, because jumping into Sora's story at this point would be rather confusing, I think, for fans. So I'm very curious to see what this is like, and I know I'm going to be watching it because Disney and anime, it's like two of my favorite things. Yes, please.
And I hope like with, other adaptations that we've talked about, like I hope this does pull stuff that can help people who maybe fell off the games or maybe just never played the games experience parts of that story. But the fact that it is sort of a new thing, I hope they sort of intertwine it. They mix it in, kind of like what we've seen with like what's going on in Star Wars and Filoni pulling in some of the deep cut stuff. So that's exciting. I'm intrigued to see it when a trailer eventually pops.
Mm-hmm. My last thing here, overall verdict of this presentation. How did you feel?
I mean, I pretty excited by this. A lot of news came out of here that I was stoked for and got me excited for a lot of projects that are coming up the pipeline. So this is what I expected from a Disney entertainment showcase. So yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with what they did.
Yeah, I think there's a different energy when you're in the room versus when you're reading through tweets of people. For sure. So obviously that might hamper my experience just a little bit. But I think, if I was there, I probably would be very, very high on this. I think getting to see actual trailers
we were high on it when we were in the room, right?
No, that's what I mean. So, yeah. we're putting a number on it. I'm probably at a 4 for just kind of what they gave us. Maybe it could have been a bit higher if maybe some of these things that they showed exclusively through the room were released online for everyone. But that's just from my perspective on the outside.
I like the exclusivity when you're in the room because you're part of something special. So I understand doing that. I feel like we can't judge the news based on what was shown. It's the news on its own, and a lot of the news we got this time around was really exciting in my opinion.
Yeah, what I would like to have seen some more concrete stuff, like having Anne Hathaway come out and talk about Princess Diaries. Great. Did she give us a date, or talk about anything else other than just saying we're well underway? Okay, that's nice. We know that project was being developed when she announced it on her Instagram, the previous year, in 2025, right? So we know that there's progress there. There's some things that kind of fell short. There's some things but there are some things that I think that probably could have had a little bit more. Sharing some stuff online didn't need to be exactly what was seen. But I also think that, again, if there's a lot of people there that are press that are doing these things, and they're covering it. Again, I say this being not in the room and having been able to see some things and talk about it, and thank you. But at the same time, it's how do we control that, right? How do we create that experience that isn't people are watching some sort of side screen angle of the new Tangled or something like that, right? Because it isn't necessarily the best experience. I do think it's a low bar for them to just put something out on the internet at the same time, like they were doing it with the trailers, right? Just something along the lines, even if it's not the video clip, but it's the photo, something along those lines, right? Just to kind of allow people to feel the experience of it.
And if for the people in the room, you want to have one of those things and then maybe pad out this experience with maybe concerts that aren't being streamed live or something along those lines, right? Like song before, song after, that only you get to experience that vibe and that feeling in the theater. That's still worth paying for.
I do think the vibe, like you said, Nate, the vibe in the room is palpable. It's energetic. You feel that. Darcy, I definitely agree with you with the exclusiveness of that experience. Everything that they showed that we didn't see wouldn't have harmed them. It would have only helped them in a lot of ways, right? There was nothing that felt like it was really designed for that experience. I feel like if they streamed the event, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? If they put it on Disney Plus, I think it's in all around, it is just promoting the Disney projects that are coming. But yeah, that's just me, because it's not like Comic-Con where it's a first look at an extended scene of something that's coming out that only that audience has seen, and there's a different priority and restriction with Comic-Con versus Disney hosting their own event and looking at every opportunity to just market and sell and get people excited across the board, right? So rather than it going through this chain of people filming and recording and doing what they're going to do anyways, get ahead of that. It's 50-50.
Yeah, they're trying to make it like a Comic-Con event where it is something to look forward to, where you are going to see new footage. While maybe it isn't the extended stuff that you would see at a Comic-Con, but it is still new to the audience. And I don't think we should try and take that away from the audiences. It doesn't make sense to stream that. You can stream the panels, just cut out from any of the footage that you don't want to show, because that's what Star Wars Celebration does. And that way you still get the news as it's happening and you can be part of that stuff, but there is still that portion that is for audience only. And to me, as much as the concerts and stuff are cool, I'm going to these events to find out the news and to see what's coming. So,
but here, just for clarity, if you're going to do that, which I totally agree, then do a better job at stopping people from recording it and posting it. Because the reality is that if they're going to do that, that doesn't look good on you for saying well, we're not going to post this online, but hey, people on the internet are going to stream it and post it. I just feel like it's a bit of a mixed bag. You got to choose one or the other. But from everything I've heard from journalists who were just kind of talking about it, it's everyone disregarded that. Everyone just was recording, and I think some of that.
I mean, we are talking about a panel that is happening in a massive arena.
It's
a bit different
understand
than a Hall
that.
H.
A Hall H, yeah, because you can probably do that. And the other thing too is that the technology, what can we do that would actually just stop people from recording if it's not sending out an EMP or taking everyone's phone? You know what I mean? Sending out an EMP in the room, it's just everyone's phone's dead.
Man, imagine just the level of trouble it would be to put everyone's phone in a big bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it'd be tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whose phone is this?
Okay, so Saturday, part 2.
Okay, we're getting into it. It's a lot.
Strap in.
Friday told us what Disney wants us to watch, but Saturday told us where Disney wants to go and what we should probably start saving for now, really, at the end of the day. This was hosted by Neil Patrick Harris. The Horizons Disney Experience Showcase shifted the focus to Disney parks, resorts, cruise ships. Some announcements gave us some good details, other projects about projects that are already underway. This felt like more of a status update, if anything else, based on things that we had learned in 2024. But there were some good updates about Tropical Americas and Animal Kingdom, Villains Land, a reimagined Tomorrowland, and return of Dreamfinder and a Yeti that may finally move again. And I'm sure I've never gone on that ride, so I don't know. But there is a lot to unpack. So if you want to take a bathroom break, get a drink, feel free to pause right now. And then
get a nice big bowl of cereal, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah. And then you can sit in your fuzzy robe and, have your chest hairs just...
It's very fuzzy, and it's got like a hood. It's really comfortable.
Yeah, there you go. I want to start with our home park, Walt Disney World, specifically Animal Kingdom, because we got some cool news there. We got the name of the new Indiana Jones ride, Indiana Jones and the Myth of the Jade Serpent.
Sick.
The new Tropical America attraction tells an original Indiana Jones story rather than recreating an existing ride. Indy enters an ancient Mayan temple and encounters supernatural dangers, including a giant serpent inspired by Mayan mythology. It replaces the dinosaur while reusing its ride system that exists there. But the coolest thing to come out of this was that Harrison Ford is going to actually be the Indiana Jones in this ride, which is really, really cool. Any big takeaways for you guys from this?
I mean, other than getting the name and the model thing, this is just an update, not really news to me. And it kind of sets the tone for a lot of what we got throughout this panel. But it's exciting to hear that we're actually going to get a true to form Harrison Ford model, because it's the one thing you noticed on the California ride, that it's not quite Indy when you look at him.
Yeah, not quite.
It's a wax model Indy.
Yes, exactly. Slightly melted. No, I think this is going to be great. I love the idea that, again, we're going to be in a big car probably, and on a big track. And I hope, I've said this before, they got to put that Carnotaurus skull somewhere in there, just as a little nod to what came before. But I think, of course, snakes are involved. Why'd it have to be snakes? And Sukan being this giant serpent protecting the underworld is really cool and really badass, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe just it's something different than a giant boulder chasing us, right? So I think that's really cool. Yeah.
The other attraction was one inspired by Encanto. We got the official name, Antonio's Fiesta de Encanto. Guests enter Casita on the day of Antonio receiving his gift, exploring rooms designed specifically for this family attraction. Antonio's animals, the Madrigal family, and music from Encanto will form the heart of the experience. It's an all-ages experience. The coolest thing to come out of this, because we didn't even see the house, but we saw the carts.
Yes.
And the carts are made up of the furniture, very like casita inspired.
Like benches, right? Coming together.
Yeah, like
chairs,
pianos, dressers, and stuff. It's like, it was really cool. I liked that touch, and they did show like a little bit of an animatic of like how you enter the house and stuff like that. I do like this idea of it being an all ages ride. There's no height restriction. It's pretty cool, because I think this is an attraction that everyone's going to want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the Disney's greatest rides are the all-ages story or dark rides. So while the track list is hit or miss with a lot of people, a story ride is still great, and I'm hoping that this one continues the trend of a great adventure through the story of the movie, or at least a portion of the story from the movie. So, yeah.
And I know they like to use screens to create that sort of overwhelming, sort of full encompassing magic that can, swirl around you or whatever, the gold magic. But I do really love the pictures that we got to see of the animatronics that they are showing off. They're continuing to use animatronics. I think they did such a good job with the Princess and the Frog that I'm excited to see what they kind of do here, and that you're there on his gift day riding in big furniture chairs is really fun. I was saying to Kevin, I was texting him as we were watching this, I'm like, get your wallet ready, because between the furniture chair ride vehicles that you're going to have to buy the little figure of, we also got 22 unique animals for El Carousel de los Animalitos, I think is the full name of that. And yeah, man, I'm excited to ride on the back of Heimlich. And I know, Darcy, you had one that you were really excited about.
I just thought the Timon one's funny. And again, these are all rides that they already announced. So just getting more of an
Getting
update
more
is-
details for sure. Yeah.
It's cool, but
it's yeah.
I want news. I want these.
I know, but
news.
I think they went really hard in 2024 that all they can really do in 2026 is just update, because these things don't move at the same pace as movies, right? Like there's a lot of Imagineering energy that's going into all of this, and I'm actually surprised with some of, like, when we get to like some stuff that has dates to it, that they are pushing for certain dates of things to kind of happen, and that's good because that means the progress is moving along. So I imagine hopefully by 2 years from now, we'll be getting updates on very few things that we heard about in 2024 that are probably going to start to launch, and we will then see other future things. But that's also the other thing. It's like, how much more? I guess there's endless possibilities. That sounds really stupid, but it's just like, other than just new, what else are they going to kind of look back and maybe update or change, when we get to 2028? Because there was a lot of like that's sort of sprinkled throughout these announcements. In regards to Animal Kingdom, the last thing is the Expedition Everest Yeti. I haven't gone on this ride. I'm not a big roller coaster guy. Disney announced that the enormous Yeti audio animatronic will once again move. The figure originally lunged towards passing trains, but technical problems have left it stationary under flashing lights for most of its attraction's life. It didn't really hit for me. I don't know about you guys. Are you Yeti fans? Did you remember the time when the Yeti jumped out of you?
Oh yes, I've ridden with a working Yeti. It is the first time you ride that. It is a jarring experience. So it's a much needed refurb. I think it's been like almost 20 years since they
Jesus Christ
stopped working. And yeah, I think it's something close to that, or I might be wildly wrong. Yeah. But like, it's been so long that it just sat there. It's almost like the Hatbox Ghost of Animal Kingdom, where it worked for a while, then it stopped, and then just never focused on it again. And now that we're getting it back, I'm looking forward to it, because again, it adds to the ride. Apparently,
he was so heavy that when he lunged forward continuously over and over again, it actually was cracking the foundation of the ride. Mm-hmm. So he's going to lose some weight, I think, is the big thing. And, obviously technology has advanced far enough.
I hope they improve the foundation. Jeez.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure they've already been doing that, but I just mean the idea of giving us an animatronic that's lighter, I think is going to make a lot of sense. So yeah, looking forward
to it. They're Imagineers. They got to have that. They got to have that capability. Let's go to Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom, Piston Peaks Car Ridge Run Rally. Again, we were shown concept art in 2024, not any information, but here we're actually getting some details. Like, the main Piston Peak attraction will send racers through mountain trails, snowy peaks, and erupting geysers before a rough descent towards the finish. Lightning McQueen and Mater provide commentary. Disney is presenting it as an off-road wilderness rally rather than another Radiator Spring. So it's like, we got Radiator Spring in Disneyland, very California, and now we have like this sort of rough and tough mountain ridge, different types of vibe in the universe or world of cars. I think it's really smart, rather than trying to recreate it.
I mean, that's something they confirmed last D23, though. They said this was they said it was an off-road experience then. Again, this is my biggest issue, is that they could have held back some of the information they gave last D23.
Sure.
Well, they announced all the rides for the America, or the Latin Americas. They announced all the things coming to, like the fact that Lion King was going to France. You didn't need to talk about that. Let Frozen stay on its own for a bit, because that hadn't even opened by that point. Like, they so overloaded the last one that because they didn't leave anything for this one. And
but you know why?
It's just updates.
It was because of Epic Universe.
No.
I think it was. I think there was some pressure.
Oh, well, maybe. I thought it was because the reality... Well, I heard that... So remember when Josh D'Amaro came out, he talked about everything we're talking about is in development, and they are not blue sky ideas.
Yeah.
Because the fact is that Disney always got flack for all of these presentations to be like blue sky ideas, but there was no realization of what it was happening. So they were just taking the stage and saying, we want to do this, we want to do this.
There's a very different Galaxy's Edge that is in a different multiverse that we
for sure
got, right?
Absolutely. For sure. So I think it's going to be the common thread here, but I think this one was new though, right? Like the other ride that's there is the Miss Fritters Daredevil Spin Along. The second attraction is a family friendly spinning ride hosted by a demolition derby school bus from Cars 3 named Miss Fritter, which was she was hilarious. So it'll be fun to see how that is, because those spinny ones really do work. Like I know Robbie loves the alien one. Right.
Yeah,
so
she loved the Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
That's the other one.
It's going to be
too.
similar,
Yeah. The next thing for Magic Kingdom, guys, we got the name for Villains Land.
Shut up.
It's
what is it?
Villains Land. The fact, like, again, this was them pulling teeth. Like, I'm with you, Darce. This presentation was just like, it was awkward the entire time. It's just like
the way they presented this too, like it was going to be some big reveal that it's what we've been calling it for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but we did get some ideas. We got a little bit more details in and around like how it's going to work. So like guests will enter a cursed forest containing a broken wishing well and villains who have claimed dark magic. One major attraction is a coaster through Maleficent's enchanted briar patch, and the other enters the Magic Mirror's supernatural realm, but there was no announcement of dates at all. So it's like, they just kind of gave us concept art, but it's cool to actually see. I feel like people probably wanted more from this than anything else.
Yeah, I think that again, we knew that they said this was on the scale of Galaxy's Edge, but I like the reconfirmation that the food and the shops and the landscapes are going to be fully themed, right? And when we're not necessarily, we hopefully, I don't know what's going on with Galaxy's Edge lately, but hopefully we get food and merchandise that feels more in world would be really cool, because it does seem like they mentioned that the architecture is going to feature the personalities of the villains that own them, and it looks like they are having a deeper focus on Cruella, Evil Queen, and Facilier. And so if the land is kind of broken up into those different zones,
it's a battle world.
I think that could be, it's like a battle world with the villains of Disney. That would be amazing. But yeah, I think the attractions they mentioned sound dope. I know, Darcy, you were pretty stoked about them.
Yeah, it's really cool. Again, this is one of the ones that worked for me because they gave us a little bit last D23, which is that Villains Land was happening, and then we got the confirmation of what's going into that land this time. This is the way that worked for me because it's building on what we got, where in a bigger way than just confirming and doubling down on rides they already announced. So this one is really cool. I'm excited to see that boat ride. Again, I love a good boat ride at Disney. Some of my favorites are Pirates, and the Frozen ride is fantastic too. But a boat ride through the different stories of the villains, I think will be really neat, and I just can't wait to see what stories we're going to explore through that ride, because there are so many great villains that never really get their time to shine, and I'm wondering if we'll get any deep cuts on that ride or bring back some long forgotten favorites.
They resurrected Glenn Close. Jeez,
very true.
This Cruella
worked.
de Vil, so
she was great.
She was great. She was fantastic. I was very shocked that they did that. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the way they handled this was better, and not the Villains Land title reveal, because
that was dumb.
They literally announced that at the end of D23 in 2024 as Villain Lands is coming, and that was sort of the end of the show cap, if you will. So here to kind of give a little more details about what we might see in there, how the scale of it, like you said, Nate, it's comparable to Galaxy's Edge. That helps to showcase the ambition that's behind this expansion and stuff, and it's giving us something without giving us everything at the same time. Carousel progress, getting an update. Jamie Lee Curtis and Bryan Cranston join as the voices of Mother and Father, and Disney showed an updated scene set in the 1980s. The changes arrive late spring 2027. Again, these are things that are happening more recent, like updates and changes like that. You know what I mean? So this was an easy one to kind of showcase, especially when you got Jamie Lee Curtis and Bryan Cranston.
That's so exciting. It's so exciting. And that's the thing that's for me personally, I love the original Carousel of Progress ride. I've gone on it every single time that we've gone to Disney. And I know a lot of people find it a little, whatever. Certain audiences might not find it so exciting. But I just loved seeing the way, their vision of what they thought was the future. And so to see an updated sort of 80s take on it is really, really cool. And again, that's not necessarily my time, but it's closer to it. So that makes me really excited. I guess we're starting in the 80s and then going forward. So maybe we do get to see the 90s, the early 2000s. I'd love to see a reference to Disney Channel. Maybe the kids are watching, something on Disney Channel. They're watching, Beans and whatever from Even Stevens on the screen or something. Like, I just think it would be really fun to sort of see them poke into a new timeline with that attraction. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think this was this announcement also kind of one of the ones that worked for me because Carousel closed. Everyone knew it was getting an update, but what that update entailed was kind of left up in the air.
Yeah,
so it's nice that we're getting confirmation now, and it's kind of weird that we got the confirmation after the closing date. That's kind of a cool way of doing that. Again, that's something that it worked for me in that regard, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like, to your point, like if you were going to do, like, let's say you didn't know what was happening in Magic Kingdom in certain areas based on the fact that they held out on revealing it in 2024, right? But you go to the parks, right? Like they don't tell you in 2024, but then you go to the parks and things are shut down. There's all this stuff. They're tearing shit up. You're like, oh my God, what are they doing here? And now you come here to this event in 2026 and they say, hey, you see that construction that we're doing at Magic Kingdom? Well, guess what? It's Piston Peaks. Boom. There you go. Right? Like that could probably have worked to their advantage because it creates intrigue. It creates mystery. It's like, what's happening? What are they doing? They drained the bloody lake that they had here, right? So it's like, what's happening?
Bloody
right?
lake.
You know what I mean? Like, what's happening, right?
They added a bloody lake to Villains Land. It's crazy. Yeah.
There you go. Bloody lake. Okay, let's go over to Epcot. Journey into Imagination. Journey into Imagination will be completely reimagined with Figment still at its heart and Dreamfinder returning. Disney did not reveal the ride system, story construction schedule, or opening date. So this was just basically tickling your balls. So, a hole. I think this was a tease for sure. Any thoughts from either of you in regards to it?
I mean, the first time that I rode this ride, Darcy, was with you when you bought that hat and you were sweating like crazy wearing that fluffy Figment hat.
I probably have been on the ride when Dreamfinder was there because I've been going to Disney forever.
Yeah.
But it was definitely before I have any memories of Journey into Imagination. So it's a Figment staying around is cool. I have no idea who he was dressed up for and why that was saved as a big reveal to pop off at the end there. Didn't really hit for me.
It didn't hit as well as Villains Land being announced.
No, comparing the two, one is far greater than the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Spaceship Earth will receive its first major story update in almost 2 decades.
Huge.
The focus expands from human communication to broader themes of human connection while retaining the attraction's optimism and wonder. No closure schedule was announced.
Well, as long as they still thank the Phoenicians, I'll be happy for whatever they do to that ride.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Hollywood Studios. Let's talk about this one. Okay, Monsters Inc. Land opens in 2027. So it does feel like this is a more elevated adaptation of what was already there, because there was a pizza place there, if I'm not mistaken. There was a theater show that was already there, but it was like a 3D experience with the Muppets. Mm-hmm. So it does feel like they are kind of keeping a majority of it and reskinning it, but it looks good.
And I think that's what's allowing them to get to 2027, getting it out in 2027. I believe the Big Door Ride major attraction is delayed, or they said they're still working on it. It is not going to launch with the park in 2020.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's not launching. You're absolutely right. That's not launching in 2027, but in terms of what you'll be able to experience in Monsters Land or Monstropolis, whatever they want to call it, there's other things that we'll be able to enjoy outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think the song "Welcome to Monstropolis" was great, written by Randy Newman. I'm looking forward to hearing that, looped in various different ways. Hopefully, not the same way over and over and over and over again, but at least maybe for some of the first.
But like if it's Randy Newman, like how he would figure out how to embed
like
you
a jazzy version.
Yeah, but like also like it's like the how like when you walk down Main Street, you have that music aura to that kind of like gives you the vibe. Imagine just different versions of that song, like where it's that track is just sprinkled through, right?
Yeah. And I love it. I love the idea that could be like an alumni thing that they sang at the Monster University. And Archie's Scare Pig Pizza sounds so much better than what we had. Bless Rizzo and his blessed little heart. But like that
pizza wasn't that great though.
No, it wasn't. But this is what I'm saying. Let's get they want to promote this new land. They want to make it great. That pizza needs more than a reskin, okay? And hopefully that's what we're going to get from this.
I can see it being like what's that place that we went to, Blaze? Is that in Disney Springs?
In Disney Springs, Blaze Pizza?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
just
like
do that.
Blaze, like a sort of like, but like that with like
weird funky toppings, right? Noodles and
It's
stuff.
probably still going to be a quick service, so I'm not going to.
No, I know,
wouldn't
that's
get
true.
your hopes up for the best food. Again, the Harryhausen's is going to be good food.
Harryhausen's, dude, my schmoopsy poo. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be. I can't wait to see the menu for that and see what it's gonna. What they're
Can't
actually
wait
going
to see how much that menu I cannot eat because of sushi.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no! But
It depends,
also,
though, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
but
it could be.
But I'm also excited for the Scareporium souvenir shop. Like, again, I love the idea of this being a land that they know humans are coming to, right? Humans are coming to Monstropolis. So maybe they're going to like do like some in-world marketing towards what they think humans would want. Like, I love these like sort of really creative ideas that they could play with, as well as giving us all the really cool Monsters Inc. merch. But I honestly, a soft launch, if it means we get a restaurant and a new show and a new area, I'm fine with it. Like I'm excited for that incredible looking coaster, but also like cool, just more to look forward to in the future.
That coaster looks insane. I don't think I'll ever be able to ride it.
We'll get you on it. We'll figure it out.
No, God, no. You'll have to drug me after the experience. Like literally drug me, and like I'm just not conscious at all.
We're gonna put some stuff in your Harryhausens, okay?
Oh yeah, just tickle the Harryhausens. The coaster looks insane. I'm happy that like for me it's always just been about like just going there and experiencing the vibes of it all. You know what I mean? And I love that this is right out of the book of what they did really, really well with Toy Story Land, building sort of an environment that feels upon itself very unique. So to bring that with Monsters is going to be great. I'm very excited to see it. Disneyland Resort. We're going to California, guys.
Hey.
California, yay. Coco attraction. First Coco ride takes place 1 year after the original film. Its queue contains a house museum devoted to Hector Riviera. While the boat journey moves through Miguel's memories of the Land of the Dead, Pixar is helping connect the attraction to both Coco and Coco 2. So maybe that's what you were thinking of.
This is the one that
That was what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah. So pretty cool. I think it's been long overdue. I love that that's putting it in Disneyland California Adventure. Fun behind the scenes. I actually, when I was there in April, I was having breakfast and these two gentlemen were the ones that were working on it. And,
cool.
They talked about it very lovingly and like how much they are really enjoying the experience. They obviously didn't share much outside of just that they're working on it. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool to just kind of hear a little bit more about it. So, to have a ride like this at Disneyland California Adventure makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a cool way to explore it. Again, sorry, I might have missed the you describing it. How far out is this? Is this post Coco 2?
No, it's in. It takes place 1 year after the original film.
Sorry, release. What do we get any information on when this ride's coming out?
No,
okay.
no date. Yeah,
okay,
no date.
Cool.
No date.
Okay.
So, I imagine though, based on where it's probably at, it'll probably come out either end of 2027 or beginning of 2028.
I mean, I like the idea of maybe riding the ride is your first sneak peek into more of the story of Coco 2.
Sure.
Right.
So then you push it to 2029 though.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like though it's like what's crazy is that how that park, how small that park is. Obviously in comparison, like
where are they finding space? Let's talk about the next one, because they said they pretty much demolished a parking lot that was for like executives, but Avengers
Last parking lot.
yeah, exactly. Avengers Infinity Defense. It's opening in 2028. The large-scale attraction travels through multiple Marvel worlds and combines massive physical sets with equally large media scenes. Several film actors will reprise their roles. We did get to see like a little clip of like them shooting it in London during Doomsday, because they had like Chris Hemsworth there, they had Robert Downey there, they had Anthony Mackie.
Not everyone, though, because shout out to Canadian Iman Vellani, who is now going to be immortalized in the opening section of that ride. Is so damn
Isn't that the one in Shanghai, though?
No, I believe it's this one here. I'm pretty sure. No, Infinity Defense, because she's welcoming people into the Infinity Defense Force or whatever.
Oh, maybe. I know she's involved in the Shanghai one.
Yeah.
The one that has like portals, which we'll get to. But yeah, like it's cool that they're bringing in the actors and connecting all the dots between them. I think it's really great. And yeah, it looks like this is where King Thanos is gonna have an important.
Yep. Yeah, this is the one that they announced again last year. That was the big thing, was teasing King Thanos. Yeah. This year they just talked a bit more about the characters who are going to be in it, which we already knew. So
I just double checked my notes, confirmed Miss Marvel is going to be the
sweet, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, she'll be in there. Stark Flight Lab is another one. That's the second attraction that's coming in 2028 to the Avengers Infinity Defense section. Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Mackie, Brie Larson will return as Tony Stark, Sam Wilson, and Carol Danvers. This is the one that's like whipping you around and like
you'll never ride it, is what you're trying to tell us.
God, no. Yeah. I'll throw
it. It kind of looks like the same system as the Monsters ride at Universal.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's just a different variation of it, because it especially the way it like lifts you and stuff like that. So I wonder if that's it. And like what last D23 we saw like Bob Iger and Robert Downey like sitting in it and like
moving around.
Yeah. Like not jarring around too bad.
No.
But yeah, this area looks like it's cool. Like again, to your point, Darcy, they didn't show much, right? So it's like they just basically
we pretty much got the same amount when they announced it last time, if not a bit more about the story behind the rides last time.
Yeah, absolutely. Disneyland Park. There's a Tomorrowland reimagining. Disney confirmed new attractions, more open space, and new places designed around dreaming about the future. The project will honor the original land's legacy, but Disney supplied no attraction lineup, concept art, construction date, or opening target. It does feel like they're going to make Epcot Mini in Tomorrowland. I got that vibe just based on like some of the new stuff, like the benches and stuff. Like they did show some aerials of like benches and stuff. Like maybe it wasn't even for there, but it might have been for somewhere else. But I feel like they're going to kind of bring in a fresh approach to it that feels very reminiscent of what they brought to Epcot.
Yeah, well, I know part of it is they're finally making the switch for Autopia, going to from gas to battery powered cars.
Yep.
So that's part of the moving forward for Tomorrowland. I just gotta say, the way they announced it was so weird, because he said we've always had Tomorrowland. Like he's talking about how they've always had Tomorrowland in their minds, thinking about going forward, blah blah. So they're happy to announce that Tomorrowland is what they're focusing on next and reimagining. He just kind of said the same thing twice in a row, and it just, I don't know. The presentation this time around, the writing was not there, and just. Things didn't.
It was corny as hell, man.
It was so corny.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize he announced something, because it just sounded like he said the same thing twice because he messed up the line or something. I don't know. It was very odd.
I mean, Tomorrowland is one of those things that it does feel weird. It's like it feels, besides Tron, it feels like this feels old. It feels dated, and Tomorrowland should feel like the future. So I like that they are planning on it. But to your point, Darcy, it's like, hey, we're doing our job. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
what
Thank
we
you for
expect.
telling me.
That's what we expect you to do, is your job. So thank you. Looking forward to it, but like, it's kind of a nothing burger. But cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing burgers are, eat those up all day. But guys, did you know that a refreshed Remember Dreams Come True returns to Disney
land in February 2027. Did you guys know that? And
I don't
it's
think I'm
an updated
hardcore enough
version.
to
I
know
don't
or
see the
care
show.
about what that is.
I know we
Yeah.
don't like so here's the thing. From what I understand, it's like updating the tech. So the World of Color,
Okay.
on California Adventures, that's actually starting this month, and then Magic Happens Parade is going to be taking place in summer of 2027. So they're updating the projectors and lighting tech. Apparently,
Cool.
That's what I took from that one.
Yep.
Disneyland Paris. Okay, Lion King attraction, Darcy. Like you said, we heard about it before. We actually saw it because we went to the pavilion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
And-
the
We've had a little
Imagineer
mini Tradalorama.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a central water ride. Follow Simba from cub to king. So it's basically telling his story. Guests pass beneath a 120-foot Pride Rock and travel through musical scenes and audio animatronics and effects. 3 drops include a 52-foot descent, while the surrounding land adds dining, shopping, and characters. There's also a new take on the confrontation between Mufasa and Scar.
That concept art looked rad. Like, if that's how big the animatronics are, like,
They would have
look
to be
large.
They would have to be in terms of like yes, because they're
to be the
they're building
cartoon
to scale.
versions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know what you mean. Yeah, they're going to be, and it's funny too because they are they've done obviously a live action version, so they're not doing real lions. They are going to do the
Thankfully.
beloved lions. It's going to be in French. You think?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
It'll be fine. You'll still feel the music's still going to be there, and that's gonna
Yeah, the
kind of
rides
really,
in Japan were like
Right?
they still hit. So
Yeah.
it's, I'm not.
You know
I'm
the
not
story of
concerned.
these classic movies. You're not going to be lost on a ride.
And it's
about
Paris.
Lion King.
That's true, and it's Paris French.
It sounds a lot more elegant.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Space Mountain, Hyperspace Mountain will make way for a refreshed experience, returning to the attraction's Jules Verne roots. Classic name and original music score. Jules Verne. Can anyone enlighten me a little bit more about who?
Darcy knows a lot about Jules Verne.
He is one of one of the early great sci-fi writers. He wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Journey Around the World in 80 Days. The French name that this ride is named after, La Terre de la Lune.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal sci-fi writer. But one of my favorite things when I first went to Disneyland Paris, I think it was 2017 or whatever, was the outside of this building, walking up to it, and this steampunk style version of the Space Mountain that I'm so familiar with, and then going inside and getting the Star Wars ride was really disjointed. So I'm really excited to go back there whenever I do go back there to experience the original Jules Verne inspired Hyperspace Mountain. It sounds really, or just Space Mountain at that point. It sounds really neat.
Yeah. We got to ride in Disney Sea, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, and so if there's more storytelling from that perspective, but in space, is cool. I think that'll be neat.
Dope. Okay, moving on. Going to our favorite place, guys. Tokyo.
Let's go.
Okay, Space Mountain Earthrise. Okay?
Oh, what a
keeping
sick
up.
name, by the way.
Just keeping up with this. The rebuilt attraction sends guests into space, literally. Like you're being blasted off into space. You got to do like a whole week of training, and no, I'm just kidding. It's made to simulate the experience of being blasted off into space before revealing Earth from a new perspective. Its story emphasizes the planet's beauty and humanity's relationship with it, anchoring Tokyo's 2027 Tomorrowland redevelopment. So they are basically redoing it. I think this is where I saw some of those aerial shots of like that felt very like new Epcot. So I could see them basically doing what they're doing here in Disneyland Tokyo, but in America on a larger scale, because everything's bigger in America. So yeah, I feel like that makes sense. So
Well, this is cool too, getting the news too, because when we were there, this part of Tomorrowland was closed. There was a whole part of the park was blocked off. You had to walk around. Usually they have through areas and you can loop your way around, but this one was strictly blocked off for this reason. Now we're guessing, so it's neat to get the name for it and just the concept art for it, giving me Tron vibes with the soup and canopy, but now it's like a weird like Earth, like almost terrarium bowl. I don't know. It looks really neat. I'm excited to go back there and check it out.
They didn't talk about like the track being changed at all, did they? Like, because there's that one moment that we're familiar with in Space Mountain where it does feel like you're like flying through space at like hyper speed, and you're in that sort of like circular,
They showed
pipe.
didn't they show what their version of hyperspace would look like, the rough animatic for it,
kind of taking off, which I think is cool. I just wonder if are they changing the track to maybe incorporate some of the stuff they do from is it called Mission Space, and maybe have us going around in a big circle really fast to make it feel like we're getting lifted into space at a rapid pace.
I don't know how you combine the spinning centrifugal thing with a roller coaster.
No, neither do I. That's for the Imagineers to. Yeah,
that's a very big leap in Imagineering, I think.
No, I know. Yeah, so that's what I mean, though. I'm intrigued to see how much of it is a reskin versus how much of it is, a fully new thing. So very exciting, though. Earthrise is so cool. It's so sick.
Yeah, Earthrising is a badass name. There is a Sugar Rush Sweet Rescue. I believe this is a Wreck-It Ralph inspired.
Yeah.
So guests enter the Sugar Rush game and help Ralph and Vanellope convert rogue sugar bugs back to their original forms while avoiding King Candy. Is this the first Wreck-It Ralph ride?
Yes.
That we've gotten? Interesting.
Yep.
I'm down for that. Sounds great.
Well, especially where it's going to, right by the Baymax ride there. It kind of lines up with the area. Now you're going to have that Disney, like almost again, their characters will live together in that area. It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Just excited for Wreck-It Ralph ride.
Yeah. Was this the one that did they also announce a no height restriction for this one as well? Or you would imagine it might be a little bit more for younger audiences. It kind of, the description of like converting these little, what are they called? Sugar bugs, back to being good little sugar bugs or whatever. It's like, okay, is this the Spider-Man from Avengers Campus, sort of ride that we've experienced, right? Is it going to be kind of, maybe we kind of point little wands or something, little candy wands, and
no height requirement was announced for this one yet.
Okay,
so
maybe still.
I think the Coco ride is the other one that had no height requirement.
Okay, cool. But regardless, like I like the idea that maybe that's what they're maybe kind of going for is.
Well, it is replacing their Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters.
Oh, there you go.
It's going to be another shooting game of some sort.
Cool, sweet, arcade pixels.
Yep. We're going to stay in Asia. We're going to go to Hong Kong for a second here. Avengers Pavilion. A third pavilion brings guests into Avengers Research Testing Lab with Peter Parker, new Stark technology, and a Quinjet platform. Disney says the adventure extends beyond Earth. Ooh. So they're getting some pretty cool stuff out there. Looks pretty cool. I think this is the one where I'd seen the portals, and there was like this, there's almost like this like lift ride to it, and you're like going through portals based on the concept art.
This one looks like it's the vertical ride from the thing where it's they're playing with 140 feet of vertical space, I think they said,
yes.
Which is wild. I can't wait to see how that works. Is it going to be a drop ride, or are you just going to be going more up and down through the levels? Like, I can't wait to see how this works.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's interesting because it's like, it seems like it might be adopting some of the mechanics of Tower of Terror, but at the same time, it's like, how are you going to make it different? So,
I hope we're swinging. You know what I mean? I hope there's a swinging momentum feeling to it.
Well, yeah, like it's there could be, but like I think you're going to get that swinging momentum when you go to Shanghai and you go to Spider-Man Land.
Spider-Man Land?
Spider-Man Land.
Is that the name of the land?
Yes. Spider-Man Land, the area is going to include a high-speed coaster, spider bots, and facilities operated by Webb. Peter Parker will need guests' help during this adventure. So this is your Spider-Man Land. This is where you can thwip all around.
Is this where Peter was found on the Spidey tracker? Hmm? Maybe.
So China's in space? Okay.
China's in space.
Now,
That's what I'm saying.
Awesome. It's like, like again, of this, no Star Wars Galaxy Edge
nothing
updates. It was all Marvel.
Yeah.
I wonder if, and this is where the conversation of Star Wars in a bit of an awkward place from a park side feels very like they're just trying to see what will work.
What are they doing?
They've updated, they updated the ride Smuggler's Run. They've obviously brought in some new character experiences. The area itself is still like revered as being very immersive, you know, like
they just need to not be putting Funko Pops in like Doc Ondars. Like, please take that stuff out of there. I don't think it needs to be there. But yeah, keep it immersive. Keep it, you know, you can sell that stuff literally, you know, a short 5-minute walk away, but don't put it in the parks. So.
Yeah, I guess it does take you out of it all.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a matter of how believable. Do they sell Funko Pops at in any of the Harry Potter areas?
I don't know, but I know that they definitely have stuff that says Harry Potter on it, right? And I know Star Wars. I know Galaxy's Edge definitely had some stuff that says Star Wars on it in different ways. But we're talking about not just Funko Pops. We're talking about like a big Grogu pillow. You know what I mean? Like a cartoon Grogu face pillow that just doesn't feel as immersive as even just those like cute little dolls that they were making, right? Or the little wooden things at the toy shop. Like, I think there's an opportunity for them to, yes, scale the park and Galaxy's Edge specifically to help people feel more like they're going into one era of that they recognize more than just whatever Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be. But at the same time, I don't think you should diminish the storytelling that you're trying to bring people into that land. I don't know. It just feels weird.
I get what you're saying. I feel like though, like there's probably a smaller sect of people that feel that way versus the people that are going because it's Star Wars and
sure.
it doesn't yuck their yum. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I know.
It's like,
but I just think I think you can please both audiences very easily.
For sure.
Because
I
you sell all
understand where
that
you're
stuff
coming
at
from
another
because
shop.
I think even if they saw Funko Pop, like for the generic people, like I'm in Star Wars land.
No.
Like
Yeah.
they're going to be like, wow, I'm still immersed in all of this. And
Sure.
they sell Funko Pops, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're the people that are going to be like, excuse me, my immersion is broke because of Funko Pops. But like,
But
I get what you're saying.
But you're making a land for your most hardcore of hardcore fans as well.
I think
right,
you're just
so-
making a land for people to experience, right? Like hardcore fans, for all fans, right? Like
Yeah.
Whether you're on like I've just learned about Star Wars to like I'm steeped deep into Star Wars and can tell you all the alien creatures and spaceships and you know where this person comes from. Like those people are definitely on the scale of like, why is this here? This is breaking my my immersion experience. I don't think the families that are going through when
No,
their
for
kids
sure.
like, oh, I want that Funko Pop, like
Yeah.
whatever, right? It's the idea of like, why do I have to walk all that way to just go find it if it's, if it is Star Wars related and it is thing, it makes sense. But like maybe it doesn't need to be in the gift shop,
In Doc Ondars.
in
specifically.
Doc Ondars.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in those carts as
Sure.
you are moving
On the way
through,
out.
on the way in and
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
on the exits. Like I think that like maybe that's a better solution for the the hardcore fans who feel like they're being robbed of their experience. But yeah, I feel like it's really it's a personal preference. Like they're going to make money. They're going to try to make money however they can, right?
We'll probably see some updates to Galaxy's Edge at Celebration, I imagine.
I don't think so because like even at like Celebration, they showcased, but they didn't talk about it, did they? Like not like on a main panel. Did they do a panel for it?
Yeah, there was a Disney Experiences panel. Like
They
the
brought
Star
the
Wars
little BD
Experiences
droids
panel.
up on the stage.
Oh,
and-
okay.
They talked about the Grogu coming to Smuggler's Run.
Oh, so then
Update.
then 100%. They're 100% going to do an
That's what they're
update
saving it for.
of their like next year, right? So especially if it's in LA and it's a hop, skip, and a jump to Disneyland. So yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to just bring up, I'm skipping over cruise ships. I don't know. Did you have anything you wanted to mention?
Now there's a medium one.
There's a medium one now. Yeah,
It
there's
comes
that
in
one.
medium.
It comes in a medium. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
The one thing though, just based on everything we talked about, we're talking about Imagineering and the people behind all of these things. There is a new season, Imagineering Story Season 2 that's coming out with Leslie Iwerks returns for the second season. She's the writer and director. It's following Imagineering as current expansions move from early concepts into construction. This is expected to release sometime early 2028. I have here from Disney 2027, but I imagine it's probably closer to 2028 based on what everyone else has been saying. But it's cool. That Imagineering Story Season 1 was insanely good. It dropped day one.
that
it was one of the reasons to get Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, it's one of the reasons. I was one of the first things I watched, and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, "Where is season 2?" So we're finally getting a season 2, and I'm thrilled about that. So I thought that was a really cool announcement. But again, what did we think about this presentation? This one was streamed. I think we've kind of shared some insights throughout, but I'll just say I thought it was poorly planned. It wasn't that great. I think it was like the announcements were meh. Again, just building off of what we already knew. I feel like a lot of it was to help stretch this whole thing out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I think it was awkwardly paced. I have no shade against Neil Patrick Harris. I think the starting was really great.
Dude, that opening number was awesome. The fact that, like, I love when Disney makes fun of itself, like what we saw with Deadpool. So to get to see the Olaf person that's the Olaf animatronic falling down after that viral, clip went out there, was great. And I think Neil Patrick Harris did a great job. But to your point, there were some really awkward transitions.
It's just awkward, and it was just it just felt like super corny at times. And it's crazy because it's like you really get to tell from these two events, like the crowd for the movie stuff is definitely hype, but the crowd for parks definitely appreciates, I think, or they think that they have to tailor these presentations to have more theatricality, a little bit more corniness, a little bit more like, presentation, if you will.
I think they had less to announce, so they had to pad it with some of this stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's
right?
Definitely
what it felt like.
There. Yeah. So
yeah, no, it felt more like updates and no news, which is what I was expecting to get, was more news or things that we hadn't heard. This is just doubling down on stuff we already knew about, which is kind of took me out of it. And just a lot, again, the opening number was great, but I found that the hosting and the segments just felt very stilted and jarring, and that he was laughing and breaking and looking away at times. It just took me out of it. I don't know. It just seemed like a very sloppily put together production that, just didn't have the magic of the last one we witnessed.
I also feel like the sound mixing was maybe a little bit tricky in that big arena. So, like, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the mics felt like hotter than they should have been.
Sometimes, but they also died, right? Like, because they wanted to get like crowd reaction. So they'd fade up crowd reaction, but then like by the time they did that, the crowd reaction would be like nothing.
So it feels
and then
like
they
this
would
weird
fade
little
back
awkward
the audio.
clap.
But it would also just be like, the timing was off, right?
Yeah.
Because like they're live streaming. So it's like you have to have your audio separate from the people on stage in the background, and you got to mix it, right? And it felt like they pushed some of that a little bit more than they should have.
But I love Jack McBrayer. He was great. I loved him the few times we got him.
Beck was fantastic.
Shut up. I think Jack McBrayer. I think Jack McBrayer should host the next one. I think would be really, really
just
fun.
Bring Josh back, man.
Or just have Josh Tomorrow do it.
Just have him do it. I don't know why he didn't do it. Like, I get it.
They need to do the passing of the torch to the whatever this new guy is.
But he was like, honestly, like, I get it. Like, he's probably never done it, but like, come on. It would probably have been better for him to work with Josh than Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's probably a professional, relationship that him and Josh would have had that would have been like, okay, like, I'm going to help you through this and literally pass you the torch so that we can do this together and you can feel comfortable, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And I think that would have been a better flow for this presentation than bringing someone, like, just let Neil Patrick Harris do it. Let him do all of it then. Don't bring this guy out, right? Like, at all, because it probably would have felt a lot more consistent and just things didn't land. So
I love Uncle Jesse, but he was sweating. He was having a tough time, John Stamos.
Yeah, his age is showing.
I don't know, man. But dude, sure. Beck was the worst choice. Beck was literally the worst choice they made.
Sheryl Crow singing 2 songs.
Sheryl Crow was kind of, she didn't need to.
At least there was the Cars element. Like, I just think Beck, that audience looked so bored and deflated during his two
performances. I don't know. They kept showing some people that were very ecstatic, and I'm like, I think
that was edited. That was some edited magic.
But these are park goers, man. Like, again, like, it was so clear, like, park going audiences, like, yes, there's a convergence, right?
Yeah.
But like it's like having two different versions of a presentation, one that's tailored to like adults and one that's tailored to like kids. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what we got. Like, we got like Friday night's presentation was tailored for all this hype and excitement around, just presentations of what's coming
the fandom of storytelling.
Yeah.
And then from the experience side, it's these people that are like lifetime goers of the park experience that are there and like thrilled and excited. Like, yeah, like some people popped off with some of these like random announcements, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm not like that deep in park going that I care about Tomorrowland, but like it was, you know.
I'm not saying they looked bored during those moments. Just the Beck performances, they looked like by the time when they cut to him in the second performance, in that second performance, half the stadium was empty.
They're already gone.
Just like
at a certain point, he just sat down on a couch.
Yeah, traffic.
It's like, bro, this is rough.
We didn't talk about Disney Legends, but they inducted a whole bunch of people.
I watched half of it. I'm going to watch the rest of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Anne Hathaway was on that list. Lin-Manuel, The Rock.
The performance for Lin-Manuel is dope.
Who else was there?
Joe Rohde. He's the Imagineer behind.
Yes. Yeah. Joe Rohde, of course. Joe Rohde, yeah. Which was pretty cool because he's like, he is pretty much. He already was a Disney legend. He didn't need to be inducted to be a Disney legend, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's available on Disney Plus, so you can watch it and stream it as Nate will later. So, but that's it, guys. This has been a long ass episode. Okay, thank you for sticking with us. If you have, hopefully, the podcast app of your choice has broken this up into chapters, so you can just scat wherever you want and listen. But hey, maybe you've stuck around and you've listened to the whole thing, and maybe you want to write in and let us know what you think of this episode. You can do so by reaching out to us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to share your thoughts, to us and everyone else on the Twitterverse and the Xverse, well, you can do so you can reach out to us at GeekcentricYT, or you can hit us up on Instagram and TikTok at wearegeekcentric. We got a lot of episodes out now on podcast feeds for you to enjoy. We got interviews available both on our podcast feed and on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/geekcentric. So you can check that out. We got lots more to come. Fan Expo, TIFF, more movie reviews, more interviews, all that fun stuff. So be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And hey, if you want to share the love of Geekcentric, you can leave us a 5-star review. That spreads the Geekcentric love out into the universe.
Wow.
Brings more people into our Geekiverse, because we are Geekcentric and you can be too. Darcy, Nate, thank you so much for joining me for this massive This Week in Geek episode. And as we say,
we'll see you real soon. Love ya.
Laters.
Peace.